Once we're live, we should start seeing people show up in the live comments side. So, oh, we're live.
Yeah.
So I'm going to share the link once I'm convinced it's working.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, there it goes.
Yeah, I'm showing live 21 seconds in.
Yeah. I'm showing live, but mine says 26 seconds. So I don't know if there's a difference. Yeah.
Uh-oh. I guess we'll find out, won't we?
All right, I got it shared. We'll see what happens. Weird. I don't like the in-app thing, but.
Mm-hmm. This is weird. I've never used StreamYard with Facebook. Only we use it all the time, or we used to when the Google Hangouts were all messed up on the YouTube side for the motorcycle Hangouts, the other guys and all that. But I've never actually piped it through to Facebook, so it'll be interesting to see if it works.
Okay, that means I got to shut off volume to that. All right, well, I can watch comments everywhere.
Yeah, you'll on the Facebook side, you'll have to kill your volume or it'll be crazy. You won't be able to concentrate on what you're saying. Yeah.
I think it's working.
Okay.
Yeah, it's pulled up. I mean, I can see it on Facebook right over here. So.
I guess I should give it a shot.
Yeah, it'll probably help if we all watch it if we actually get people watching this.
Mm-hmm.
It appears to be lagging.
Yeah, I saw that too.
And you're sharing it on the Van Cave page, right?
Yeah. Yeah, so you can share that out like to your, I assume to your home, your home screen.
I should have capitalized my name.
Oh, there it is right there. It's in the news feed. Yeah, people should be getting it.
All right.
Oh, there it is right there. It's in the news feed. Oh, yeah. Now I've got to kill the volume.
Yeah. Well, I opened another page for some dumbass reason. And all right.
Okay, there we go. Click to expand. Now we should be able to see any comments if people decide to comment.
Yeah, I don't see anything happening. Yeah. Well, I opened another page for some. I'm still hearing somebody. Is that me?
Might be me.
I'm muted. On
yeah, it whenever I expanded it, it unmuted it again. So beware.
Mute site. Try that.
Should be good. Should be good now. Everything sounds good. But yeah, there's like I'm going to say a 45-second delay, something like that.
I think so.
Oh, there's my head turn. Yeah, it's pretty close to that.
Yeah. Cool. But it worked. It looks good. It sounds good. Seems like it's working fine.
Hi, Tammy. We see you.
Are there comments coming in?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
You guys remember to remind me to tell people about the weirdness with the permissions on this. Because you have to, anybody that's watching, you have to allow the StreamYard app for it to go through.
Interesting.
We ready to make it official, gents?
Sure, let's do it. We do.
All right.
We doing this?
Let's do it.
Yeah. It's officially well.
That was a weak open for me.
Go easy on that stuff, Mike.
Oh,
Holy
don't
crap.
even look at this glass.
I had a explosion, boys.
Oh, look at Mike.
It was a explosion.
I got me some ginger ale and fancy glass that it makes noise whenever it's empty.
It looks nice. It looks much less sort of feminine. I mean, I'm not saying it looks masculine or anything, but
Wow.
it doesn't look as bad as I thought it was going to look when it was empty.
It makes me look cool. So, thank you.
Right on.
Hey, Sam Biffle. Cool.
What's happening, everybody over there? I'm trying to keep.
Yes.
I've got. This is weird, man. I got my cameras over here. It's the only one I have that works right now, and it sucks balls. And so, but I'm watching it on this monitor.
Yeah, I
But
can't.
the comments are on this screen over here, and I should have put it on this screen over here. Make
Yeah,
full use of 3 screens, but whatever. This works fine. So,
I see
cheers,
what's- Cheers, sir.
Yes.
Clink.
Clink.
Clink. Yeah, it's not exactly a podcast, but it is a live stream, and that's about as close as we can get right now in these surreal times we're living in.
Well, honestly, the main reason I haven't done anything with anybody here is as much as I travel to Houston, I have no idea if I could have Chinese bat AIDS very easily and not even know it yet. So,
Yeah.
but man, I will tell you, flying to Houston, going to chemo, and coming back, that was an episode of The Twilight Zone.
Sheesh,
Because
man.
we got a picture. MD Anderson is this enormous hospital. It's really welcoming. There's a lobby. People greet you. There's security guards. There's people. If you need help be enrolled in a wheelchair, there's an information desk, like a concierge.
Right.
There's people serving coffee. There's a Starbucks. All this action is going on. There's a valet. This time when I went in, it was like joining the Coast Guard, man. You have to stand in line. They take your temperature. They ask you a bunch of questions, and you can't have any visitors. No visitors. So unless somebody's having to actually push you in a wheelchair, you can't.
Wow.
You're done. So
you went alone last time you went, right?
yeah, this was just an in and out chemo trip.
Mm-hmm.
And so I flew in, flew out. I was there for like 6 hours. And it was really weird because I got in an elevator with a bunch of staff, and they'll all move as far away from you as possible and face the wall. So when you're not ready for
Wow.
that, it's kind of strange.
Yeah. I can imagine.
Yeah, all the hospitality stuff was shut down. I've got some pictures I'll show you guys. I don't have them on this machine, but of everything just being empty, and normally that place is just buzzing. So it was weird.
Well, everything is definitely nuts right now. I mean,
Yeah.
it's the one of the things that has been most startling to me is that we're seeing the best of humanity and the worst of humanity all at the same time. I suppose that's natural, but I've kind of been disappointed in some of the worst of humanity that I've seen so far. That's really been a drag. But I try to stay focused on the cool, positive, good things that people are doing instead of the batshit crazy stuff people are doing.
No, there's plenty of batshit crazy.
No
God.
doubt.
You guys didn't see my preparation for all this, getting everything set up, but I came very close to setting this up in my bathroom when I was going to be sitting on the toilet with my rolls of toilet paper on the little back of the tank and everything.
That would have been fairly cool.
I would have done that, except that I don't want everybody to know how much paper products I have.
Well,
No, I'm kidding.
I had my 2 rolls there, and then my unterrible roll, and that was going to be it.
We're fine on paper products. We discovered that you can get industrial rolls of toilet paper through Staples.com, and they'll deliver it right to your house via UPS. So as long as that lifeline stays open, I mean, of course, you have to buy it kind of in bulk. We bought the smallest amount we could buy, which was 1 box, which I can't remember if it had like 6 or 8 rolls in it of the commercial toilet paper rolls, which are much bigger than a regular toilet paper roll. And so we're not going to need toilet paper for a real long time.
Hey, Sam just asked if the flight was empty. I looked at it. I'm thinking it was maybe around half. I can only book about 2 weeks in advance. Long story. That's just how I know if they're going to treat me or not. And I want to say I paid $400 something for a round trip flight, and it was around $150 cheaper on the day of. So, and just not that many people. Everybody was socially distancing. Everybody was polite. Everybody was cool. the little coffee shop at Midlands Airport was open. That was weird because all of those kiosks in the middle, they're like entire convenience stores they're like in the art. Those things were wrapped in plastic, like completely pack wrapped up the whole aisle of stuff. Products in place, the magazines, the chewing gum. And I didn't go to the main part where all the big restaurants are, but I went and had a beer at the Hard Rock there. And at the time it was open, but they had chairs turned around and booths closed to keep you that far apart. So I did have a drink with, I'm going to screw this up, 70-something-year-old archaeologist whose hobby is essentially flying around the world and interacting with attractive young women. That was a cool conversation.
Very cool.
So there you go, Sam. There was a
Very
20-minute van cave answer. Yeah.
Yeah. Are you guys actually seeing like names for all the questions? Because I'm just getting Facebook users.
Yeah, if you look on the StreamYard side, it just says Facebook user. But if you look over, if you have a tab open and look at the actual Facebook side, it'll show you who is commenting. So yeah, so the last two comments were from Sam Biffle.
Yeah, I'm watching the Facebook side.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's weird. It's the first time. I mean, I'm kind of familiar with this software from the user side, not from the operator side. But like I was saying earlier, I've never tried to use it with Facebook before. It works really well with YouTube. It'll pipe right into the comments, echo them over. You see avatars, you see names and everything. So,
okay.
Yeah, it's really weird. It's not showing me who's watching or anything. It's really strange.
Come on.
Yeah.
Mike.
Hey, I don't know who said that, but I mean,
It was Sam.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense. Look, it's all you kids with your new technologies, and it's just going over my head.
Yeah,
So
and we're 20 years older than you are.
I mean, if you want to get technical.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, I
maybe
do
not
have
quite 20.
Yeah.
Close. Like I said, you're what, a year younger than my son?
I think so.
Or
No,
a year older?
I think I'm a little bit older than your son.
You graduated in 2005 from high school, Mike. Is that right?
Yes, that's right. That's right.
Okay. Yeah, and I graduated in 1988 and Matt in 1989. So that's a long time.
Hey, I want to give a quick shout out. We've got two business supporters of the podcast. One of them's Eccentric, and you guys are doing growlers, right?
We're doing growler sales in the afternoons and the evenings until about 6:30. Yesterday was very busy. We're also we're using the quote unquote downtime to experiment with some new stuff that we'll be talking about soon. So Aaron and I were there. Jamie was there as well, and we, people are hanging out. We'll let people hang out up to about 10 people inside, as much as they can spread around inside our quote unquote tap room area. But once it starts getting bigger than that, we kind of start asking people to move out. But we've had a lot of support, just people coming by and buying as much beer as they can. We're hanging in there, and we're starting to now feel the slowdown, if that makes sense. We've got our cold room is filling up. The distributor's not really coming by to get beer right now because all the restaurants and bars are closed. So they are delivering the beer that they've already taken from us. They're delivering to customers as they need them, the ones that can take them, that are doing they're doing growler sales, or they're doing whatever carry out they can do where beer is involved. But we're just riding it. We're riding it down as it slows down. We're keeping capacity up. So we're going to have as many of our vessels full as we can. We're going to have as much of our cold room full as we can, so that when all this passes, we'll immediately be able to supply as much beer as is needed.
Right on.
That's the plan, and I hope it works out that way. But we're hanging in there for right now. Yeah.
Okay.
Well, best of luck, man.
My
Yeah.
multimedia business has nosedived though. I've lost about half my clients. My West Coast client is done. They were kind of in financial trouble before all this, and I think now they're not coming back. Record label I was doing work for out of Memphis. I don't know what's going to happen with that. All their artists, none of their artists are out on tour or anything like that. So that's 2 down. I've got a couple of local clients, and I'm hanging in there with those. I'm just really fortunate that I can weather this for a long time. Yeah, I'm at a point in my life where, I feel for people who are living hand to mouth or whatever, but I'm pretty well set. I mean, it's not like I'm going to be buying any new ultralight airplanes or motorcycles or anything like that right now. Nothing, don't misunderstand, but I can weather the storm. It's just going to suck for a while, assuming it doesn't come back quickly. And right now, not looking like it's coming back quickly.
No, the other one, the other outfit that helps us out is Axaholics, and they're pretty much shut down. But Blake did post the other day that they're doing private lessons. So basically all the people you're stuck in the house quarantined with, you can go in for a private party and bring your drinks and some chow and throw axes for sure a decent price. So if anybody's into doing that, that's I really feel bad for those guys. That business was just banging, and then this came along.
Yeah, that really sucks. And now Odessa went, correct me if I'm wrong on this, Odessa went shelter in place over there. Did they go full on shelter in place in Odessa? Do you guys know about this?
I got to admit, I'm not following the news very closely, but they did a shelter in place, which essentially the city government and has done it and asked people to do it, but they really, if people don't, they don't know what the hell they're going to do. I guess I don't really know. As far as I know, there's not a criminal law or anything like that, any enforcement attached to it, but it's been done.
Okay.
Yeah. They passed it, but from what I kind of hear from it, it's more a curfew than a shelter in place.
Well, Fort Stockton was one of the first ones to do that. They did a curfew, not necessarily a shelter in place, but they have I don't know what time it is, but say it's 11 o'clock or whatever, you better not be on the streets after 11 o'clock. I'm not sure how I feel about some of this stuff. But I don't know enough to form a strong opinion either way. I don't know if any of us do. It would suck to get on my libertarian high horse about all this stuff, and then we have a massive outbreak in West Texas. And I think the biggest thing right now is that I don't want to sound utilitarian about this, but I don't think the governments from local to national, all the way up the chain of governments, really care about people dying. I know that sounds bad. I think what they're more concerned with is overloading and shutting down and cratering the healthcare infrastructure, and then everybody at the political level looking bad.
Well, that's a good point. I mean, I can't mind read anybody, but
yeah, me neither.
Everyone has the same goal. Like there's nobody out there that for whatever, goodwill or even nefarious reason wants it to happen. So everybody is somehow inclinated to trim it back. And so one of the things I think is interesting that the government's doing, there's a name for it, but there were different governments all the way from our national government to local governments that set the original date for like April something, making it a 2-week set of conditions.
Now they're pushing it out.
Well, and everybody was freaking out going, that's not enough. This is going to be, well, they knew that, but what would happen in the world if they suddenly said, all right, everybody get in your house for 6 months? You think the toilet paper shortage is bad. Holy hell, man. The world would burn down. So it's a incremental alert is what it's called. Bam, just got that back. Where you're basically, you're not feeding them a shit sandwich. It's like shit hors d'oeuvres on a plate.
Yeah.
You just let them nibble one at a time.
Little tiny. Yeah. I got you.
So that's kind of a lot of what I think's going on. I'll tell you what's pissed me off. The medication. Oh man, I got to tell you guys this story. One of my doctors, the guy that's heading my clinical trial, this guy, he's like a young, like a he's just he's a genius. He's an amazing guy, and he looked stressed to the bone when we were in there. Like, I'm the dude with cancer, and I'm asking him how he's doing. Man, Doc, you okay?
Yeah.
And I mean, he was commenting about how he's had to make a point to exercise more because there's all this stuff going on. But one of the clinical trials, they deal with a lot with, all they deal with are colon type cancers like I have, which go to the lungs like it did to me. And many of the trials they use, oh crap, what's the medication that's working on chloroquine?
The chloroquine, yeah.
Chloroquine, yeah.
Yeah.
And it's actually a part of some clinical trials, and they've had to shut them down because of availability. That there were already, before the hype hit, there were doctors stockpiling it.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And I mean, and to like a criminal degree, not like I have 50 patients. It's like, okay, this is for my staff, this is for my family, this is or for people to sell it or whatever. There's a lot of freak out about that.
That makes perfect sense, considering everyone else's behavior and all the hoarding.
Oh yeah.
The hoarding is one of the, that's the darker angels of our nature coming out. There were no supply chain shortages. I mean, no supply chain problems, no shortages. There still aren't. Damn near every single thing we need on a daily basis is readily available, except that people are hoarding it.
Yeah,
dude, it's the most ridiculous thing I've ever seen. I saw a thing on Nextdoor, which I had a very cynical post about earlier today.
Yeah,
fucking Nextdoor, man. But anyway, I saw this post on Nextdoor where somebody's showing people how to de-shell and freeze all the eggs they've been hoarding. And I posted, if I see any of you people with 12 or 15 dozen eggs in your basket at HEB, you're getting pepper sprayed on the spot, just out of principle. Unbelievable.
Yeah.
What are you going to do with 15 dozen eggs?
Well, we didn't have a lot of eggs because we had, we'd gone to Houston. Nicole went with me the trip before. We kind of trickled out. Finally, I'm like, man, I haven't had an omelet in a week. It's time. So I went and I thought, I'll just buy an 18 if they have them. That way I don't have to worry about it. And they said, well, do you want two? Because they were taking them out of the crate. Yeah, right. Whatever. Give me two of them. So I've got more eggs in there than we'll eat in a month. So, Danny, what's happening?
What's happening, Danny? Father of, yeah.
All right, I got to break Danny's balls a little bit.
Michael, son of Danny. Yes.
Yes. Yeah.
I got to break your dad's balls a little bit. Hey, Danny, I am so sorry, man. I feel so bad that the baseball season's delayed. I can't watch the Rangers, and you can't watch the Astros beat on trash cans, man. That's terrible. I was thinking I was going to talk to you. Maybe we can come up with some money, and they could form like a blue man group, with baseball bats and trash cans. I don't know. I'm always thinking, man. I think that's a good idea.
Hilarious.
It's a pretty good idea. I'm all for that.
Yeah. Hey, man, did you guys catch Wolf 359's live show? Oh my God, they were incredible, man. Raul played with them. There's different musicians rolled in and out. They had, of course, Jay and Bo, and they just absolutely blew it up. Anthony Nieto did the sound for them. That was a fantastic show. They really, really blew it up. They live streamed it on Facebook because they can't play any gigs anywhere. So
yeah, none of us can.
Yeah,
I did my one-man band show live on Facebook.
That was cool.
Yeah. So it was fun to do, but at the same time, it was kind of sad. Everybody's asked me to do another one ever since, and I might, but I don't know, man. It kind of depresses me a little bit. Yeah, it's fun at the time, but then you go back and look at it and you go, man, that sucks that this is where we are. So.
Tim just sent me the stems for the new album, and man, I'm having so much trouble. It's this chemo, man. I don't feel as bad, but it like sucks your mojo. I don't.
Yeah,
it's weird. I can play it, and the ideas aren't coming and all that. And the shit's not even working anyway. It's from my blood work. It looks like they're going to be doing something different, but yeah, man, Tim's got some fantastic songs coming out. So,
I'm really excited about it. And I mean, there's no big hurry on it. So, definitely take your time on it and do it as you can and as you feel strong and comfortable with all of it.
I actually feel pretty strong. It's just, there's just something about the brain function on it. It's hard to get off the couch.
Mm-hmm.
It's one of those things where it's kind of like having low blood sugar all the time. It sucks. And it's one of the reasons I had in podcasts that I canceled 4 guests once the bat aids came out. And so now we're going to start doing this. I think this will be fun. We can have a lot of fun with this.
Yeah. This is always, I mean, it's a way to be together while not together. This is sort of our virtual Murray's Wednesday night. Yeah.
Hey, RJ and Skeet Foster. Skeet Foster came to Vanapalooza one time. One of the concerts we played in the backyard. That was pretty cool.
Our end of summer concert for friends.
Yeah, I miss doing. We got to do that at least.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Record that.
Those were fun to see. But
yeah, I
Mike,
miss those.
I found some of your recordings that you made, Mike.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I think I still have that big file with everything all together on my hard drive somewhere.
I was moving stuff over to an archive drive and I found it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I've got a bunch of it. Actually, I have some of it. I did a watch party after I did my live one-man band show on Facebook. I did a watch party of just a whole bunch of Tim Kreitz band stuff that I have in my video section on my Facebook page, and quite a few people tuned in for that. And some of that stuff was like multi-camera stuff that we did. Like I set a couple cameras up. Mike had a camera set up, and then we melded all that footage together. It actually I hadn't watched a bunch of that stuff in a couple of years. And I was like, man, that was pretty cool how we did that. I kind of forgot about all that.
I'm amazed at how, I mean, just, I listened to some stuff I did in 2008 or 2009. It was recorded on phones and cameras of the time, and the audio's crap. And you can put a newer phone right next to the amp and it somehow seems to balance out and play pretty well.
Yeah.
Hey,
I don't know how that happens.
Tim, what's the color of your wall behind you?
It's sort of a pale, it's not a pastel yellow. It's it's kind of a medium yellow. It's not pastel and it's not bright.
Well, the other one too. It looks like you have a green.
Well, that's my green screen for YouTube.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
The only reason I ask is the room I'm in has kind of that same yellow pastel.
Uh-huh.
And then I have a green wall right in front of me.
Yeah, I need to just, that whole wall behind me, I need to just paint it green for green screen. But I haven't done that. I bought a whole bunch of stuff for my video production business. I needed some soft boxes, and I needed some new stands, and I needed some power distribution. Mm-hmm. And I bought a couple of different kits, and one of the kits had everything I needed plus that green screen. And I thought, well, let's see how that green screen works. It'll keep me from having to paint the wall, because these are vaulted ceilings. You see how tall the ceilings are? That would be a lot of painting for one giant green wall. Yeah, okay. So I opted to go ahead and get one of the kits I bought had that green screen, and it's worked pretty well. So
I got like a DVD transfer thing, or like for VHS.
Mm-hmm.
And with that, it came with a green screen, just a sheet and everything. And we bought some PVC pipes just to make a stand for it. So that's over in the corner over here too. So
yeah,
we're boring Matt with video talk right here.
Hey man, I was gonna jump in. I've been scanning old slides.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, like some of my father-in-law's. That thing is really sharp.
Okay, good. Because I'm about to hit you up to use it.
Yeah, you can come grab it.
Yeah.
I've got some, I don't know how I'm going to do it, man. I have albums and albums of 35 millimeter stuff to scan, and I'm going to see if it's, I mean, they've been an album since they were printed, so they ought to be probably in as good a shape or better than the negatives, so we'll see which way it goes. But I did stuff from my father-in-law in Vietnam, 1968 or so.
Yeah, those photos were incredible. And it did a really, really good job of of transferring those. Like I can't get over the detail. Like you don't realize you're looking at a 50-year-old photo. You're like, holy crap, man.
Yeah. The ones you guys saw, those were not retouched in any way. I hadn't corrected the color. I hadn't cleaned up.
Just a straight scan, huh?
Yeah. Just a scan.
Wow. That's cool.
And
well,
the ones that were cleaned up are even better.
I will tell you that just, with all of this staying at home and work going to shit has, Sharon and I started our spring cleaning earlier than usual. And I was digging through a whole bunch of my grandma and grandpa's stuff from World War II. And I found some big, large format film negatives, and they're pictures of people. I can't make out what they are, but as soon as we can get together, I want to scan those and see
definitely.
what they actually are. Yeah. Yeah. So it was kind of funny that you bought that piece of gear right about the time I started doing spring cleaning and came across those old negatives.
Yeah, cool. I'll be glad to check them out, or you can just come get the thing. You
Okay.
hit a button and it shoots it to.
Is it Bluetooth or Wi-Fi or
all USB?
Oh, it's USB. Okay.
Yeah. Hey, JR, what's happening, man? Hey, I got a RJ Pace. I hope you're still here, RJ. He posted something. I don't want to have to sit and type through the whole thing. He said, all prior to the coronavirus thing, we're all totally happy sitting on our asses watching Netflix, and now that the government's telling us to do it, we're like, you can't tell me what to
do. That's very true. Yeah,
it is.
But people don't, people in America in particular get accused of being sedentary, but people are on the go a lot, even if they're not on the go exercise wise or whatever. They're on the go. You're always going somewhere, whether it's in your car or whatever. And I think that has really started to hit home with people, that they're stuck at home and they are getting a little bit stir crazy. Britt and I got the latest episode of Tim Kreitz Adventures was me and Britt literally just, hey, do you have coronavirus? No. Have you been around anybody? No. Have you? No. I've been isolating. So have I. All right. You don't have any symptoms right now. Okay. Let's go ride motorcycles. So we got on our motorcycles. We rode out into the middle of nowhere out north of Iran and just enjoyed a day of just being out on the road. And there's nobody out there. Like you can tell oil is $19 a barrel right now. There were very few oil trucks, very little activity, very little traffic. It was very Night of the Comet in a lot of ways.
Dude, I've been riding just by myself because, if I feel like it in the span of a couple hours in the middle of the day, I take one of my bikes out. But I took my bicycle out and I tuned it up. And then
I got my mountain bike all tuned up too.
Yeah, my hybrid bike's all tweaked out. And then I've been I was walking too. Because even though I'm home and the work that I do is home, and the rest of the time I'm working on the home, like you said, I got out a lot, so it's weird to not get out.
Mm-hmm.
But so I just started walking like around the neighborhood, and holy crap, man, it looks like, I don't know, like, you know how even back in the 80s, you think the movies that were shot in suburbs like, E.T. and, into Edward Scissorhands and stuff like that, they would show a picture of a block and there's kids riding bicycles and
playing
all that crap.
And all that. Yeah.
Dude, it looked like that. I walked for a couple of miles just in my neighborhood. I live over by SJ here in Midland. There were some dudes playing baseball and they had a full field in a corner lot. I'm not kidding, man. They had 9 people.
No, I'm seeing it too. I don't see how. And this is my libertarian side coming out. I mean, I'm isolating as much as I can, and I'm staying away from people as much as I can, just out of a feeling of civic duty. But every time I'm on my motorcycle, which is pretty much every day, I'll get out and not stop for fuel, not stop for something to drink, just ride, just to be out on the road, even if it's just around town. And I see the parks are all full of people. There are soccer games going on. There are basketball games going on. People are playing disc golf. It doesn't seem like there's any social distancing going on anyway. And I keep thinking to myself, man, we shut down our economy for this.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. I mean, I certainly hope nothing bad comes from it. I hope we don't have a major outbreak.
You know,
And thankfully, West Texas in general has had very few outbreaks. But who knows?
you know,
Well,
Who
but
knows at this point?
it's different when, it's a bunch of people out in the park than it is, in an airplane sitting in a demon tube together. So.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's true.
mhm. I'm I wish I could isolate more than I'm doing right now. It's just
Yeah, your
Yeah.
job makes it hard though, and
Yeah.
you have an essential job, so yeah.
it's in a shop. We got people coming in and out, and today we had a guy that came in from Louisiana, and he is refusing to do any self quarantining after crossing, lines.
Oh,
and everything
Lord.
because
Yeah.
we're essential workers.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you just pay attention to how you feel. I mean, that's what I'm doing. One of the reasons I'm kind of staying away from people is that starting this week, I started helping with the actual tap sales, the growler sales. I did that last night, and I realized, man, I'm around a bunch of people now. I knew a whole bunch of them, but a whole bunch of them I didn't know, and I thought, man, I'm sure everything's fine, but now today I've been like, no, I'm not going to be around anybody. I'm just gonna I'm going to do what work I can do at the house, which I did, which took like an hour and a half, and I was done. I went to the brewery for about an hour and a half, 2 hours tonight, so that we could work. We've got some projects, some developmental projects we're working on that needed some attention. And then other than that, man, it's just going back and forth and getting out by myself. And it sucks because I have this impulse to, when I go for a motorcycle ride, I go, man, I should call Matt, see if he wants to bust out the KLR. I should call Britt. I should, oh man, we should get together and do this and that. And I'm like, no, you know what? We really shouldn't do that right now. I'll show you guys this picture right here. Share screen. You may have to authorize this, but this is the kind of stuff I've been doing on my own. If you go to
Here we go.
what I just
Hang
shared.
on. Let me see if I can full screen this.
Okay.
Yeah, you got it. It's perfect.
Nice.
Yeah. So
Yeah, it is
I've,
nice.
I've been going out by myself out into the boonies, riding the ranch roads and that sort of thing where there are no people, just to kind of get out and get some fresh air and have a little bit of fun and kind of motorcycles are very therapeutic. They put your mind at ease on a lot of stuff. They're very, very good for achieving some peace of mind. So I have most definitely been doing that. I've been, trying to get as much fresh air as I can and all that kind of stuff. So
is something, I've been doing a lot of photography lately just mainly because I got new toys to do it. Anything that you buy, like the masks or stuff that's made by GM, from the pillow companies, from the American companies that are shutting down and making
Defense Protection Act
quarantine related stuff. If you have a mask or whatever that's made by General Motors, save it. Save one. Put that away, because that hasn't happened in quite a while.
And did you hear where the dude who owns mypillow.com has reworked? They reworked the factory to build N95 masks, and they started doing it this week.
Yeah, that was a pretty cool deal.
They have the capacity to build 50,000 of those a day. I thought that was pretty awesome.
Hey, real quick, guys, I saw Mike Elliott chimed in. Mike is the guy that made that magnificent tomahawk that I have.
Oh, nice. Yeah, great job.
Yeah, that was really nice.
And I'm a little disturbed. I'm going to have to give at some point, because I've got the disc golf basket, I have the air rifle range, and I have the archery backstop in the Cole's garden. You got to see what she did to the backyard. You guys haven't seen it yet.
Oh man.
Yeah. So I've got to give up some stuff. So I thought, well, maybe I can put something on the back of the archery target, flip it around. We can throw tomahawks at it. Right. And I had a scrap piece of 1/2-inch plywood. Does not work as a backstop on that thing. It's too awesome.
So speaking of Nicole, is she working from home now?
Yeah, she was, when the quarantine thing happened, she started working from home about the time I got back from Houston. And then they were going to come in some because it's not a big office. And then when the second round came up and things were kind of extended, they just said, stay home. Mm-hmm. So has not harmed her work ethic a bit. I see her about 2 times a day from 8 a.m. till 7 or 8 p.m. And that's, hey, the dog did something cute and do you want to eat lunch? And that's it. The rest of the time and in fact, it's actually even harder to get her to stop working because it's in the next room.
Yeah, because she's already home.
Yeah.
So yeah, I know. Yeah, she and Sharon have a lot of things in common, and that work ethic is the thing. They get laser focused on something and they won't stop doing it.
She is researching. A lot of people are trying to come up with the best recipe for a drink to be called the Quarantini.
I've seen some of that. Yeah.
Awesome. Oh man, this gives me ideas. Well, I will tell you guys that right before all of this crap happened, I sent out an IM saying, I have this really good bottle of Texas whiskey that I want us all to get together and try and do a Van Cave episode with. And, of course, all this stuff happened and we can't do the Van Cave and blah, 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 or haven't been. And so I busted into that bottle and I'm going to try to save some for when we can do a real episode of the Van Cave. Just so you guys can have it. It's a Texas blended whiskey called Blue Lacy. So if you see it, I recommend you buy it. It's really good. And Mike, I know you have kind of an aversion to kind of really harsh distillate alcohols.
Yeah.
This is like butter smooth, sweet, light whiskey. So it might be something. It's called Blue Lacy Texas whiskey, Texas blended whiskey. Yeah.
I have a bottle of Lafroig Select from a viewer that's just waiting on us. I think we'll save that one.
Yeah. Lafroig is one of my favorites. The 10-year Lafroig is the best of all the Lafroigs. The 10-year or the 12-year.
Read it from here.
Those are the sweet spots. For Scotch in general, Scotch whiskeys in the barrel at about 10 to 12 years, that's where they're best. That's where you get the best balance of everything that's supposed to be in the flavor profile of a Scotch. So I'm really looking forward to that. I went through a lot of Lafroig years ago. It used to be the Glenlivet and Lafroig were the two that I kept at the house all the time. So I'm looking forward to that.
Hey man, I've got a phone, guys. So I shop on Wednesday for the people with compromised immune systems at Albertsons, and picked up a few things and was standing in line, and everybody's social distancing, but everybody's pleasant, and just me and a bunch of people. I was the kid there, and everybody had like a case of beer or one of those big 6-pack carriers of wine, all this booze, and it was all for somebody else. Oh, this isn't for me. My neighbor drinks this, or
bunch of Baptists.
It's awesome. Like this is the most West Texas thing. Yeah, it's just my god. And I'm like, I don't care. Funny. I'm drunk right now.
Yeah, yeah. That's one of those things that you kind of get a glimpse of in situations like this. Mm-hmm. Tell you what, man. My dad is a prime candidate to not do well if he contracts COVID-19. So I've been doing all of his grocery shopping for him. You guys know he can't drive or anything like that. So usually I just take him and we do all of it together, which gets him out of the house and gives him some activity and some exercise and all that. But last week I did his grocery shopping for him, and I could only find about 60% of the normal things that he wanted. And so he's kind of been in a bit of a cocoon out there at his place. And I kept trying to tell him, Dad, you don't understand what it's like right now. There's the equivalent of a bad sci-fi movie going on right now. And so I'm kind of struggling a little bit with him, getting him used to the idea that he's not going to be able to have just everything he wants on the fly like I usually can get him. So, but I'm keeping him out of the stores, I could take him during the compromised immune system and elderly people time. I could do all that. But I'm really afraid with his heart condition and his pacemaker, and he's a terrible smoker, and he has weak lungs, and I have nightmares about him catching COVID-19 and not being able to recover from it.
Yeah.
So that's kind of where we are on that deal right now.
My buddy David Weaver just joined, and they have a relative that's in a nursing home, and they're pretty much just shut in. I mean, it's sad because cutting down on, the ability for people to socialize and have visitors and all like that. And even I saw some people at MD Anderson that were having problems with it.
Mm-hmm.
Other patients that just, nobody to talk to, nobody to carry their crap and remember all their stuff. I mean, that place is really set up for it. They can handle it, but still, man, it's just horrible. Yeah,
that sucks. That really does. I'm curious as to where this goes. I mean, does it peak in the next month? Have you guys looked at the curve, where the curve is, like on the Johns Hopkins site?
I haven't really seen much of it.
It's behaving typically, and it seems like it's moving up to its peak. And I'm wondering if by, this time next month we'll be on the downside of the peak. But infections are still up. It's about to hit 1 million infections worldwide.
Mm-hmm.
And
who the hell knows?
And who knows? Yeah.
Richard Cotty, what the hell do you care? You live in Montana. You're like 500 miles from anybody. What's up, dude?
What's happening, Richard?
I miss those dickheads. Go ahead, Mike. I'm sorry.
I was seeing something on the news, and they're projecting something like 100,000 deaths in the U.S.
Well, that makes sense. If you look at, and I've got a post on my Facebook wall about this. If you look at the number of people who died from swine flu in 2009 versus the number of people who got it, okay, and then you compare that to the number of people who are projected to get COVID-19 right now, and apply the, even a moderate mortality rate, even a lessened mortality rate than is currently being experienced because it'll come down over time. Mm-hmm. It works out to about 100,000 deaths worldwide. I mean, countrywide, US, I think something like 14,000 people died from swine flu in 2009. So considering the mortality rate so far, the infection rate so far, the only thing that could mitigate 100,000 deaths by the time it's all over with is all of this social distancing and destroying the economy that we're doing right now. And hopefully it works. I mean, we're doing it, we're paying the price. So hopefully it has good efficacy.
Well, speaking of paying the price, man, here goes our podcast. JR asked to join us. That's it. We're going to get shut down. FCC is going to come after me. If anybody wants in, it says we can hold 6, so jump in.
Yeah, we can hold 3 more.
I don't. The thing is, everybody in the know. There's a doctor that was on Joe Rogan today. It's really good. They don't really have a whole lot to base it on. I mean, we understand viruses. We understand what viruses do. We understand how they work. But unprecedented with the day and age, with the population, all like that. People, they're grabbing at straws, which is crazy. And man, I want to keep this positive, but what's important to people now should be like World War II. We're going to win this. Instead, when you get on social media, it's, well, this is a fault of the political people I don't like.
Right.
They're screwing this up.
Right.
And here's the thing, folks. I realized something today, because when I read these posts and I look at news feeds, especially people I know, and I know well, if your news feed is full of that political bullshit, you're not happy.
Right.
And, cancer runs in my family, and I've seen 2 relatives die, like literally in their deathbed with Fox News on in the background. That doesn't do anybody any good. There is an absolute world of cool shit out there. Get away. This is perfect. this is a perfect time to do essentially what jerk-offs like us do. Whatever the hell you want to do
Yeah.
when your time is down. I
Yeah.
mean, holy crap.
We live in a day and age where your hands and your mind should not be idle for any reason.
Yeah.
We have I mean, not just technology, but the possibilities are endless. I'm just reiterating your point. There's no sense in me saying it all over again. You're absolutely right.
Yeah. If you want to learn, go ahead, Mikey.
I was just gonna say it's gotten to a point where, you know, I've really gotten back into reading more. I've started drawing a lot more again, and it bugs me people saying, "Oh, there's nothing to do, it's bored." You know, there's so much you can do. It's just I don't. That's all I had with that. That's my end of train of thought. So
I'm killing the TV by request. It is not showing up.
Yeah, it showed up as it
showed my logo. Yeah.
Yeah, it showed up as it dimmed because of exposure. Yeah, just the way your camera is exposed right now, it was burning it out to white. So, yeah.
There we go.
Actually, the shot looks better with it turned off. They were right.
Yeah. That was Rich. He's got a good eye.
Yeah.
Dickhead. What was I going to talk about? I'm losing it. I
should have let you go first.
Oh, there's a dude on Reddit. I forgot what his job was. Maybe it'll come back to me. He has become a star on Reddit posting marble racing. You know, like in his backyard.
Okay, you guys have been talking about this in the IM groups, and I'm now fully curious about this.
All right. Mike, you talk about it. I'll pull up some marble racing.
Yeah, explain me, Mike.
It's this guy. I can't remember where he's from, but he builds these courses in his living room just using like blocks and Legos and stuff. Or he'll go out into the yard and make paths in the dirt. And he has these like a starting gate that he's built. And he'll set up the races, and they have different teams for the different marbles. And then whenever it goes, they just film the marbles going down through the track. And they have an Olympics that they do. And they have different series of races, and it's the best thing to watch. It's so weird.
There are a few that, like Mike said, they're really well produced.
Yeah.
And I mean, they're just over the top. This guy is making them like out of scrap wood and nails and shit. Marble racing in general. I'll pull something up. Hang on.
It's very cool.
And the ones in the sand are really good. In fact, I don't know if you guys caught it. Here's the sand one. I don't know if you guys caught it, but so I'm a huge fan of Dodgeball, right? The movie.
The movie, yeah.
And in Dodgeball was the fictitious ESPN 8. You know, the Ocho, they would say in the movie. ESPN 3 becomes ESPN for one day every year, the day that the Dodgeball Nationals in the movie took place, which is in March. And they show obscure sports the entire day.
They had
one of the things they showed was marble racing. Yeah, spike ball.
Okay.
Yeah.
Richard said, look for the Ozyman video on it. He said it's hilarious.
Here it comes. Hang on. Fuck, how do I do this again? Share screen.
Yeah, share screen, and then you have to punch it through. It'll put it in the video reserves down on the bottom, on that bottom toolbar, and then you have to put it up in the feed.
Well, mine's different because I'm only running one.
Oh, gotcha.
It's not. Oh, Chrome tab. Here we go.
Come on, fingers
Boom,
crossed.
Here it comes.
Here we go. There, something's happening. Come on.
I got the spinning
I got to play it.
Yes.
I got to play it.
Yes.
There it is.
Yeah, I think it's the same guy.
Oh, okay.
Is it running?
Okay.
I see the
It's
screen.
just a still image. I can see where they made the track, though. That's pretty cool.
Oh, it is horked up everything here. There it goes.
It's choppy, but I get the idea. Oh, that is cool, man. So what is the science behind the marbles? Like, are there special ways to polish your marbles so they go faster, or is there a weight division for marbles, a size competition? I mean, how is it all done, or doesn't matter?
Go ahead, Mike.
I think it's just off the shelf marbles, and they don't really have. I mean, just all the, not the big ones, just the little ones. And then they'll have like chaser marbles that are just ball bearings that in case any marble gets stuck, they'll knock them loose, and that way they can keep on with the track.
Yeah, that's pretty cool, man. That's just the kind of nonsense a bunch of nerds like us would think was cool.
Here's the link that Rich just sent us. So this one has the see if I can get this to work.
Here we go. Here, I'll cross my fingers again.
Mm-hmm.
Come on. Here it goes.
I'm going to go back.
Okay.
It's going to show the gate.
Okay. Yeah, that one's working really nice, actually.
So they have a name, and you can bet on them.
Those marbles are cool looking too. Yeah.
Somebody else does one that they're courses like made out of Legos.
Yeah.
With obstacles and things, and the audience is all marbles.
What's
like the stands are full of marbles.
What's the channel for this one? For the channel name?
Oh crap! Hang on. Aussie Man Reviews. Okay. Well, that's the yeah. You watch this all day long.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, this is like relaxing. This is mesmerizing in its own way.
Yeah.
Oh man, the green marble had it down until it missed the turn. Now it's screwed. So obviously this is downhill.
Yeah, there's one guy. I don't think it's this dude, but there's a guy that does it. It looks like it's on a beach, like it's obviously beach sand. It's not this one.
Okay, so I'm getting now. Oh, there's a direct collision. So now I'm kind of seeing, based on the design of the tracks, that I think the object with your marble in choosing a marble or getting your marble ready is that you don't want it to go into those bad areas. You want it to be light enough to where it doesn't go into the bad areas, but you want it to be heavy enough to where it'll maintain a lead. So I see what's going on. If you make your marble too big and too heavy, it'll go across all of the barriers and go into all the bad areas, and you'll come in last place.
And I don't know if there's anybody even actually engineering their marbles in such a way to.
Yeah. I don't know.
What I mean, are they just
Yeah, I don't know the answer to that. There's a geek for every. A super geek for every weird hobby like that. So,
hey, JR, we see you. It says devices. Oh, hang on.
If you make your marble too big and too heavy, it'll go across all. You got to turn your live feed off, JR.
Are you on your computer?
I don't know if there's anybody even actually engineering their marbles.
Oh no.
Yeah.
I'll message him.
Yeah, message him and tell him he's got to mute his live feed, because he's listening like 40 seconds behind.
Yeah.
Well, he'll see it in about 30 more seconds. So we're like, oh, damn.
I'll tell him.
Yeah.
Hey, by the way, I made a note to congratulate Richard Gillette, the sheriff, just retired. He was the DA investigator with me and was my boss back when I was a patrolman, retired today.
Right on.
Cool. Yeah.
There will be no party, of course.
Bad time to have a birthday or retire.
Yeah.
I'm wondering how high school graduation is going to go. Like all these seniors that are supposed to be graduating in a month. What's going on with that? What's going to happen there?
It's all going to be Zoom.
Yeah. Yeah. It's all going to be virtual graduation.
Yeah.
Jay Zertucci.
What's up, Jay?
Hello.
Yeah, this is all going to be weird. I don't know how any of this is going to work.
Yeah. I don't know. It's working now. You have this weird, the 3-up panel deal.
Oh, sorry.
You have that's a better view right there. Yeah, that's a much better view. So So yeah. Marble racing, here we come. I'm going to be digging out my old marbles from when I was like 9 years old, which I still have. Have this huge Crown Royal bag full of marbles. You know, you got cool parents when they give you a Crown Royal bag to put all your marbles in.
Yeah, I had the same thought. I'm like, I got a bag of marbles somewhere. I know.
I'm sure I do too. It's you know what? That's the Van Cave Olympics that you're setting up. You know, we're gonna have marbles in there now.
Yeah, we do. We need to have racing marbles.
So we're gonna have like.
I would totally watch that.
I noticed you got the bumper pool table behind you all set up. Have you been playing bumper pool?
No, I had to fix the vinyl, top on it, and I just left it off. I played it a little bit. It's because that's a slate-based table. It's got a really nice action. And I think Raul's going to come over sometime this week. He loves to play that stupid game. So
awesome. Well, let me know.
Hey, Jay, I don't know if you were watching when we did it, but we were praising Wolf 359's live performance, man. You guys killed it. I appreciate you doing that. That really made for a good evening for me.
Jay said, hello, gentlemen. Tim.
The local music world knows you.
Here's to you. Yeah.
Oh, man.
Jeez. So... yeah, I've we talked about that. I think we should offer JR can't hook up. Hey JR, just kill everything on just open the link and then kill everything else and you'll come up.
Yeah, you can't
turn off your Facebook. You got to turn all that shit off.
Yeah, you can't watch Facebook and StreamYard at the same time.
Yeah, and you gotta give it permission to run your camera and your audio and your microphone all at the same time, and just turn it off, and you'll get all the stuff on it.
It'll take you through a little check. It'll say check your audio, check your video, and then you can join the broadcast. So hopefully it'll work.
Yeah, I've been tinkering with all the usual stuff, archery, and just whatever else keeps me busy. So. Yeah, it's still working. Yeah, the feed's weird, man. Yeah, this works, man. I think I'll spend the money on this software.
Yeah, it's only like $20 or something like that.
Well, it's monthly.
Oh, is it a monthly subscription?
All right, JR, here you come.
Oh, and there he went.
It says devices not connected. JR? Do we have JR?
I got audio. I can't get visual.
Well, we don't need to look at you anyway.
Yeah, we don't need to see you. We can hear you.
What's happening, man?
Hey, man, it's good to see you guys, even though y'all can't see me.
Yeah,
that's all right. I frequently touch myself and picture you, so
well, I'm sure
it's fresh in my mind.
well, this conversation took a turn.
You have for years.
It was bound to happen.
Yeah.
Are you stuck at home or what?
Yeah, well, no, I'm not stuck at home because I'm one of those essential employees.
Of course you are.
Yeah, because we do food grade and disinfectants and all that kind of chemical stuff too. So I saw a deal the other day that said, they call us essential because it sounds better than sacrificial, which is wrong.
Yes, I get
Sounds
that.
better than
I understand that. Yeah.
Oh my God. JR has never been on the Van Cave before. We have been friends since like 1983. That's how long we've known each other.
A long damn time.
Yeah. Well, it's good to have all these sacrificial people with us. Welcome, gents. That's awesome.
Well, I ain't quit smoking yet, so I've been sacrificial for about 40 years anyway.
That's all right, man. I just fixed my the air filter in here. I'll fire up a cigar sometime, but this treatment jacks up my voice, and I sound like that chick from the Andy Griffith Show after a cigar. So
yeah, but you still look good, baby.
Hey, thanks. What's up, Mike?
I said, what's that Andy? What was it? That's before my time. I just don't get that reference.
There was a woman on Andy Griffith.
Shut the fuck up.
Andy Griffith was before all of our times.
Yeah.
Okay.
But there's
yeah,
a
but we
woman,
didn't Nick at night.
that woman with the super smoker voice. Y'all remember her? Hello, doll. That one.
doll. Yeah, doll. Let's
That's
go
right.
dancing, doll. Yeah.
Well, let me give you guys something to think about. Remember the Andy Griffith show? Everybody on that show was happy, and everybody got along and everything like that because they were all single. And the only one that was married on the entire show, the entire time it ran, was Otis, and he was the only drunk in town that was always in jail.
That's a good point. Did y'all ever see the? There was a Saturday Night Live version of skit. I think they had Ron Howard hosted, and they had him going back to Mayberry as a man, and Eddie Murphy played Floyd the barber,
Mm.
and he said he was really black the whole time, but Andy made him paint himself white.
Right? There you go.
Oh, man.
That was good stuff, man. No, but I'm like you guys, man. I'm about to go stir crazy half the time.
Yeah. It is
Hey,
what it
Mike,
is.
how's the dating scene in the zombie apocalypse?
Yeah, how's it going in the bat AIDS world of dating?
It doesn't happen, is what it is. So, but also, my parents are on this chat, and I don't really want to talk about that. Well, they.
Abe wants to know if anybody on the Andy Griffith show in the Darling family was married, and I do believe that the daughter got married to somebody, and there was a conflict over it, and Andy had to use reverse psychology to get Mr. Darling to hand over his daughter's hand in marriage. I do believe that was the story. That was roughly the storyline. So yes, the Darling family daughter got married in one episode. And also, Abe probably knows this, but the Darling band was a real folk band, and they were really playing in those episodes, and they were real badasses, and their name escapes me.
And do you
Right
remember the patriarch of the Darling family?
Yeah, it was Denver Pyle who played
it
him.
was. It was.
Yeah, so he
Uncle
was in
Jesse.
everything. Yeah,
Uncle
Uncle Jesse from the Dukes of Hazzard. Yeah.
Crap, I forgot their names. The dark-haired Duke boy. What's his name? Abe, I just sent you a link to jump in if you want. What was his name?
I can't remember Bo from Luke, but one was Tom Wopat and the other was John Schneider.
John
Wopat.
Schneider has a YouTube channel, and he is like the utmost
John
authority
John Schneider.
on. He's like the utmost authority on General Lee copies.
Yes.
And the history of the 2 billion cars they trashed in that series.
Right.
Anyway, it's pretty interesting, and he goes over a lot of the trivia and how they did it. And then he made, he was pissed off about whatever movie they recently made. I can't remember. Somebody made a Dukes of Hazzard movie. I didn't see it.
Yeah, it's been a while, but yeah,
wasn't great.
Well, he didn't
wasn't
like
great.
it. He didn't like anything about it, so he made another one called Christmas Cars. And I can't find it, but he is playing a group of people who are making, I guess, General Lee cars to save the farm. But he actually jumps a General Lee in the making of that film. Actually jumps it himself. And of course trashes it like they did every other one. So.
Oh yeah. It always amazed me how it would make the jump and you'd see the front fenders buckle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
As soon as the next scene is perfectly straight and everything's great.
Yeah.
Cut to a different shot and it's perfect. Yeah. Not a scratch on it.
Not a scratch.
Yeah, he talked about some of the curves on that car. I'm going to screw all this up, but there's like 2 years that you can change a few things on them and make 1 year look like the other year. But they had some of them had been bondoed over so many times that those curves were gone.
Oh yeah.
If you look for them, they're not there.
Huh.
So yeah, it was nuts how they tore those cars up.
I saw a video not too long ago on YouTube. It's one of these sort of hoity-toity guys with a bunch of money who go out and find very rare cars and pay a lot of money for them. And it was about a guy who found the original General Lee that had been used in either the pilot or the first episode, which either and or I'm not sure how that all that worked out, but it had been sitting out on this guy's land for 30 plus 40 years, and they had used it several times in the show. They had it painted as General Lee, and then they had painted it blue and used it for something else in another scene. And he found it out there still in the blue paint from the last time they had used it. And they ended up crashing it, so it was just junked out. But they took that General Lee, and I think he ended up getting it for like $1,000 or something. Took it, put it on a trailer, and then they proceeded to put like $100,000 into restoring it because it was either the original or one of the original General Lees that was used on the show.
Yeah.
There was a story that, it's a famous movie where the car in it was a Dodge Challenger, like a 1970 Challenger Art. Oh, shit.
Was it a movie or a TV show?
And at the end, the
Two-Lane
car goes
Blacktop?
off a cliff.
It was a movie.
It was a fairly famous movie. Totally escaped me. And this high school teacher I had.
Well, it was I'm thinking Dirty Mary and Crazy Larry
I don't remember.
with Peter Fonda.
No, it
Okay.
was
Anyway,
more,
go ahead. I interrupted
It was
you.
a little more of something I would remember than that. But anyway, it was a really nice car. And they had to run a car off the hill, off a cliff at the end of it. And this electronics teacher I had at Lehigh in the 80s was a huge Mopar fan. He had a ragtop 70 RT 6-pack 440. I mean, really nice, purple, beautiful car. Even the electric top worked. And he was telling me that the people surrounding that film were all Mopar fans, and they could not find it in their hearts to shoot a Challenger off the cliff, so they painted a Camaro and like beat it into roughly the shape of that and shot a Camaro off the cliff. Dennis Weaver, yeah, Danny's saying it's a Dennis. Weaver movie.
Was it Fuel? Was it Fuel where he's being chased by the dude in the truck? That's Steven
sounds like it might
Spielberg's
be.
first film. Yeah, I have that.
Oh, yeah, no,
I've got it on one of my RAID drives here in the studio. It's a great movie. It was a made-for-TV movie, and it was so good, and Spielberg did such a great job with it that they said, man, we need to add about 20 minutes of footage to this and make it a full-release film, which they did. And it had Dennis Weaver in it, and he plays this guy who's like a salesman dude. And yeah, it was a Mopar. I can't remember what the car was. I don't know if it was a Dart or what, but they painted it kind of this orange red color. And it's basically about him being chased on these lonely California roads by this maniac in this really evil looking semi truck. And it sounds like a stupid premise. Actually is kind of a stupid premise, but because it was Steven Spielberg, he pulled it off. I mean, it's a very suspenseful movie. The chase scenes are really, really well done. Highly recommend that movie. Yeah, it's called Fuel. It's from like 70, I want to say 76 or 77, perhaps somewhere around in there.
71.
71. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. It was like a CBS Sunday night movie or something like that, but it was so good that they added footage to it and made it a feature film.
Hey, speaking of movies, Clint Eastwood made a badass piece on Richard Jewell. Well, it's called Richard Jewell.
How is that? Have you seen it? Did you watch it? I guess you watched it.
It's awesome.
Okay.
It's really good. Now it costs like $6 to rent it on Amazon, so you might wait till it gets cheaper.
Mm-hmm.
But it has the guy from Moon, Shawshank Redemption, Sam
Rockwell,
and John Hamm is in it. And you guys know me and John Hamm. If he and I were on a sailboat for very long, I'd be picking out sweaters for him because he's awesome.
It's funny that you say that because I was having a similar conversation with someone at work about that the other day. about John Hamm. So
Yeah. Come on. It's John Hamm. If you can't be a little man crushy over that guy, who can? But what spun me off on it, there was an article where the original reporter who wrote the Richard Jewell story that broke and seeded the whole, this is the first time you ever heard person of interest. And person of interest is a term I despise through my entire law enforcement career. It's a shit or get off the pot thing. You're a suspect or you're not a suspect. Person of interest is weak. The way I was taught in college and all the way through the academy was, if there's a guy laying dead in his house, everyone in the world who is not him is a suspect. And you have to weed everybody out. That's the process of investigating. Anyway, she broke the story. In the movie, she's banging the FBI agent, John Hamm, who gives her the info. And this article said, okay, well, she was hot, and we did know how bad she needed a story by how short her skirt was and how many buttons she went down on her blouse, even though, it was inappropriate. But she never banged anybody for info. And she OD'd back in like 2001. She died before Richard Jewell. A lot of it had to do with, what had happened. But other than that, it's pretty accurate from what I remember. So I'm going to do a whole episode over the incident where I was the Richard Jewell. So over the bomb. So
yeah. Wow.
And then again, I may wake up tomorrow and go, that's a stupid idea. I'm not going to do that. But anyway, that's a good movie.
I do that all the time. I have a great idea for the YouTube channel, and then I've got 4 videos so far this year that are about 3/4 edited, where I just stop editing. I go, this is dumb. I'm not putting this on my YouTube channel. This is stupid. But I'll tell you, let me get you guys' opinion on this one thing. So I've got an episode that's kind of a social distancing, self-isolation episode for my YouTube channel. It's from the garage. It's kind of a garage talk episode. And what I'm doing is I went and I dug out a bunch of my old motorcycle magazines from the 90s, from the Speed Wars, and show different aspects and different bikes from the Speed Wars, and talk about specifically the Speed Wars, but then just other things that were happening in that era. But it's basically just me in my garage talking and showing these magazine covers and showing the inside of the pages, talking about how back then you couldn't go to like Revzilla.com because none of the ads had URLs. The e-commerce in the 90s basically didn't exist. A lot of the ads for like Lockhart Phillips and all of those places you would buy performance parts from say, to get Lockhart Phillips parts, go to your bike shop and ask them to order it for you from us. That's how the advertising worked back then. It was such indirect advertising. Anyway, I thought it was kind of an interesting concept, but that's one of those ones I've got mostly edited, and then I'm watching it going, I don't know, man. Maybe not. I just don't know.
Hey, Tim.
Yeah.
You know that GS1000 that I got from Matt?
Purple Rain, baby.
Yeah. I still got it.
Really?
Yeah.
Don't tempt me, dude. Don't tempt me.
And look, it's a one-time offer. Okay? And Matt, please don't hate me.
No, go ahead, man.
Matt gave that to me when I think I had 9 days sober.
Yeah, I remember the story. It's a great story.
He told me, he says, you've been my friend for all these years, and you've been drunk most of it. But you've had 9 days sober, and you want a motorcycle. Here it is.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's the kind of guy Matt is.
Yeah, it is. I will never, ever in my life have another friend like him.
That's right.
And
very much agreed.
And everybody on this feed and anybody listening knows what a wonderful guy he is. But he'd also told me in that deal that if you ever take another drink, you bring it over here and park it at my house.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I know he doesn't need it over at his house. and I have taken another drink. And that bike's been parked for about 8 years now.
Uh-huh.
I've still got the title. I've got everything on it. And I will give it to you if you will do the honor to make sure that it's taken care of the way it should be.
Well, I'll tell you this, JR. I want it, and I graciously accept that offer, but I want you to let me pay you something for it.
No, don't. If you pay anybody anything, you pay it to Matt, because it's Matt's bike. Because I had, I didn't honor the deal. Yeah, Matt,
I only accept payment in sweaty man love.
In that case, well, I'll tell you this, JR. I would be honored, and my heart's beating right now, and I'm trying not to bust out crying. I would be happy to take that bike, and I'll bring it back to life. You guys have seen me restore motorcycles, and you know how I do it. I do it right.
Well, I can tell you this. I'll tell you this. I tried to get it running here probably 6-8 months ago. I got to fire off, but it set a fire in the air intake.
Mm-hmm.
I put it out. I mean, nothing got damaged or anything. So I'm telling you that the floats and the carburetors are locked.
Okay, that's fixable.
Yeah, they're going to have to go anyway.
Your floats are stuck open, and it's just dumping gas.
Yeah, it's just dumping fuel because they got stuck.
Yeah,
it sat there too long. I mean, now I'm saying all this. It's really Matt's option, because I took a drink, and he told me if I ever took another drink, to give it back to him.
Look at him giving us the thumbs up on this.
and I'm telling you right now, I know Matt doesn't need another bike in his garage.
Yeah, I'm out of space.
If you feel the need, that's who you need to pay. You don't need to pay me, but I'll figure out a way to get it over there to you, or if you want to, you can trailer. It's over in my parents' shop. It's been covered up.
Okay.
So it's, the seats and everything's still in great shape, but
okay.
I know that I will never ride it again, because I promised Matt if I ever took another drink, I wouldn't ride it.
Well, I will be honored to get that thing going, and it'll make a great. It's funny, Matt and I have been talking about this. I've been looking for the right project bike. I've been looking for my next project bike for like a year and a half now, and I just can't find the right one. And that is one that Matt and I have talked about over and over again. Yeah. And he was like, you need to see if JR wants to get rid of that GS.
Don't let me forget, Tim. I was working on my Concord the other day, just regular maintenance. And I was chasing down a random memory that I had another air filter for it. And I found some parts. I may have some pieces of that Vetter fairing.
Okay.
I think there was one of those pocket covers and maybe headlight trim that I'm 90% sure I got from somebody that was just spare Vetter shit. Like, I don't know. I don't have what it's like Mike Long said, no, I don't have that, but here's one of these, and maybe some trim lights and stuff, because that thing has a, it's Vetter fairing to everything. It's a beautiful bike. So
I've also got the maintenance book on that bike.
Okay. Yeah. If you got a shop manual.
There's a climber manual for it.
Awesome. Well, I'm honored. I thank you. It means more than I can say, and I would be happy to. I would be happy to. First of all, get it going, and get it restored, and then it stays in the family. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it does stay in the family. But I will tell you this: you and Matt need to work out that deal, because it's not my bike anymore; it's Matt's. Because, like I said, when I took that drink,
understood.
I would give it back to Matt. So,
I don't know if you guys know it. Rick Rowland has my GS 1100, and it looks fantastic.
Yeah, that's the one that. Boy, I always had a love affair with the 1100, but both of them are great. Those GSs are classic.
I can guarantee you this: when I stopped riding that bike, when it was still running, I was running around. it will go faster than you ever want to go.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, dude. Yeah, those things are torque monsters, man. Those things are. They're really, even by today's standards, they're still fast motorcycles.
I'll tell you, Tim, the day I took it, the day that Matt brought it over to me,
Mm-hmm.
because I didn't have motorcycle license at the time, we went around the neighborhood over there by Matt's house, and I was riding it, getting a feel for it and everything like that. And you can ask Matt. There was a lady in a black Cadillac. I was going down that street behind, just south of Matt's street. We were cruising at a good speed. Matt was behind me. Lady in black Cadillac stopped at the stop sign and then rolled right through it. I mean,
yeah,
dead in front of him.
Wow.
And I damn near laid it down, but I laid it over just now. This bike's got chrome bumpers under the saddlebags.
Uh-huh.
It's got highway bars. Yeah,
Yeah.
the Suzuki, the police bars that come from under the tank out to the pegs and back.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
Like,
I laid it over, and I was hitting everything on it to stop. I laid it over, and just before those chrome bars hit the ground, I downshifted, hit the gas, and went around her because she stopped. She pulled out in front of me and then just stopped.
Yeah, they always do that.
Yeah.
Anytime they pull out in front of you, they stop instead of keeping going and trying to get out of the way. It's,
Right,
yeah,
right. So
the song of the idiot cager.
I asked around her, got to the next, got past her, got to the next stop sign. I stopped. Matt pulls up to me. He says, "You all right?" And I said, "Yeah, I'm fine. You want to hold this sumbitch while I kick this greasy turd out of my pants?"
Scared the hell out of me.
And
Yeah. Well, awesome. Well,
we rode on back to the house, and I told him, I said, "All right, if you'll ride over the house, I'll bring you back home." He goes, "You still want to go for it after all that?" And I said, "Well, yeah." I said, it wasn't, that's just part of riding a bike. People going to pull out in front of you. You got to pay attention, right?
Yep.
Hey,
had happened
Blake-
to me 2 days ago. Yeah.
Blake Cryer just jumped in.
Right on. What's up? What's up, Blake?
What is up, Blake?
So, JR, Matt and I in the band trailer, we actually have a wheel chock for a motorcycle up mounted to the front. So all we got to do is pull the band gear out of it, and I can come and get that thing just at your convenience. You let me know, and we'll work it out.
You've got my number. You call me.
Okay.
We'll work it out. I'll give you the title and the book that I've got. But any money or no money or whatever, that's between you and Matt.
Okay, me and Matt will work it out. Absolutely. Okay. Thank you.
Tim has.
I want to stay in the family because, like you said, this is family right here.
I do too. I'm glad to know you still. I'm glad to know you still have it because I wanted it to kind of stay in the family, so to speak, too. Yeah, absolutely.
Tim has unmentionably soft hands, so.
Yeah.
Hey, and
they're not that soft.
Yeah. And we got Brian Martin in here too. Blake joined us.
Yeah.
What's up, Brian?
Brian Martin. And Brian, I don't know if you heard it, man. I was praising you guys and your live feed you did the other night. Your tone is absolutely dripping sexy. I love it, man. That was fan-freaking-tastic. I'm going to mute Tim, but your tone is freaking awesome, man.
Matt,
you don't praise another guitar player in front of your guitar player when you're a bassist, but
yes, you do.
Tim's gonna pout. He's gonna cry himself to sleep in the shower tonight that I said that.
I have no idea where that's coming from. Now, good musicians are hard to come by these days. We cherish the good ones for sure.
Oh yeah, that was a fantastic.
Yeah,
Matt.
But I did.
Did Matt
plug
drop
you
out?
guys?
Did you guys see Matt drop out?
Did Matt drop out?
Oh, he's back.
Am I back?
Yeah,
Okay.
he's here, just froze up.
Hey.
Okay.
Yeah,
Matt.
I probably had a hitch because it's my audio's a little bit in and out. You guys got me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, you're good now.
Blake, you might have missed it, but plugged you guys. I guess you're still doing the little private gatherings at your shop and pointed everybody to your site, Axaholics Hatchet House in Odessa. If you're pinned up with a few people in your house or whatever, get on Axaholics, and I can post a link here. Really cool place. Get out, drink a beer, throw an axe. Beer and wine, I think only, or just beer only. No hard liquor, but you can go in there and throw. It is a fantastic place, a great idea. And I think they're still doing, like I said, private parties. They're not just open for everybody right now.
Hopefully we get past this stuff sooner rather than later, and everything will start to get closer to something approaching normal.
Yeah.
We'll see. But
I was joined.
yes, you were. There she is. There's Macy.
Yeah, she wanted to hang out apparently. She's probably annoying Nicole, which is why she opened the door.
She just knows her way through like she always does.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, well, that's the kitchen door. I think she was probably shadowing Nicole to the point that she wasn't happy about it. But yeah, so
she can't hear me, or I would call her. Yeah. Oh, here we go. Macy. Hi, Macy. Macy, what are you doing? She's like, what the hell is this? Okay. Yeah, she wasn't having it, man. She was not amused.
not at all.
Hey, Matt, when this is all over, give me a call on my cell, and
Yeah, I'll do that, man.
Okay. Yeah. We'll get it all worked out. We'll give you a call and hopefully come and get it by the weekend. I got to find a place for it. I've got 3 motorcycles in my garage. I can get one more in. I can get one more in there easy. It's not a
got you,
problem.
Blake. Hang on a sec.
Tim, it ain't that, but there's not a big rush on this deal.
Okay.
But, with this oil crunch,
Mm-hmm.
My stepfather is retired. He sold out and everything like that. And then my mother's company that she'd worked for 38 years closed up.
Mm.
And she needs to retire too, but she has to keep working just because she'll kill my stepdad if they're in the same house. But what she's bringing in ain't what she used to be bringing in. You know, she went to working for a company she worked for 38 years to working for the hospital. So, so I think they're going to have to downsize, and they've got a big house and 5 acres and pecan orchard outside of Green Tree Country Club that I just don't think they can. They can't pay the taxes on all that stuff. I mean,
Yeah.
So
they're going to have
that, man.
downsize.
we're gonna have to do it, but it ain't something like it's got to happen this week. I mean, just
Okay.
not
Yeah,
Just let me know. Like I said, we'll do it at your convenience. So you just
Yeah, we can make that happen.
I just don't want it to get lost,
No worries, man.
Right
And
on. Like I said, Matt, call me when this is over and we'll talk. But
Roger that, man. I'll give you a shout, JR. Thanks for joining us, man. I appreciate it.
well, I mean, I've been out of the loop for a long goddamn time, and I apologize for that. But
You've had your own wars, man. I understand it. Well, be safe, my brother.
you too.
All right. We'll see you, JR. Thank you.
See ya.
Bye-bye. All right. Hey, we got... Oh, crap. I lost it. There it is. Blake's got a conspiracy theory for us. And Blake, Jay, anybody... Hey, Gilbert and Sandra, anybody wants to join in, Brian, just let me know. I can email you the link. We'll probably run another half hour or so.
Yeah, I think he's talking about our conspiracy roundtable.
Oh yeah, we got to put one of those together.
Yeah, the whole. I think that obviously the COVID-19 pandemic is not a whatever. It's not fake. It's not. All of a sudden, for the first time ever, I'm at a loss for words. I can't articulate my thoughts.
What?
Right?
It's not fake because
I compliment one other guitarist, and Tim's off his game.
So
that's right, Mike.
Yeah, I see what you're saying, Mike. Yeah. So what I'm saying is there are a lot of sub conspiracies surrounding the COVID-19 thing. Like somebody sent me a video the other day via IM saying that you can cure COVID-19 by blowing a hairdryer up your nose.
I heard that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's nonsense. I also heard a conspiracy theory that it's all going to die in the summer because COVID-19 can't live consistently in temperatures above 80 degrees, and there's no proof of that.
Well,
You know,
actually, hang on.
I hope it's true. That would be awesome.
One of the oncologist I was talking about earlier, he said that viral transmissions do actually reduce in transmission in higher heat.
Okay.
So if you're inside room temperature, if you were across the table, one of us were infected, that you could ingest it, touching your face or whatever. The virus, as it was explained to me, not a doctor, just a patient, that if the path that virus has to take from me to you, it will survive outside for a shorter period of time if the temperature is higher.
If it's higher, which makes sense. That's why most coronaviruses and flu viruses go away in the summer. That's why it's not flu season. Yeah, I mean, it makes sense, but I don't know. I tend to be skeptical about believing things that sound too good to be true. But yeah, it makes sense.
Got another guitar player showed up. There's my cousin Abe. What's up, brother?
Slash drummer.
What's happening, kids?
Slash drummer. Hey, man, what's going on? Good to see you.
Yeah, man. I'm hanging out in the sketchy rig.
Dude, this is all sketchy rigs. You should see the recording studio because I got pissed off at our wireless system. I had a repeater. I was just telling the guys before we went live, I had a wireless repeater and suddenly had an IP conflict off of this laptop. So it is all going to get slashed and burned, and there will be a wireless mesh by the weekend. I'm going to go to Best Buy if I have to and just totally rage purchase a new setup.
There you go. Well, the good thing about Best Buy, I was actually in there today. There's nobody in there.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's another.
You don't have to store your stuff.
It's a good time to buy.
We're still waiting on Blake's conspiracy theory. Blake, you want to join us, or do you just want to?
No, I think what he was talking about.
Oh, here we go. Just popped up.
Oh,
sorry to interrupt you. No, wait, that's not it. Sorry. No. See, I heard an infomercial on the radio that said 94% of COVID-19 cases were started through nasal ingestion, but they had a nasal spray that would prevent it from getting sick. Kind of struck me that 100% of people breathe through their nose. And see, it's got to be like cancer. If you go and ask a doctor, why the hell did I get cancer? They can't tell you. I mean, if you fit a certain risk group, if you smoke or, whatever, they can say probably, but that could be it. But maybe nasal. Who the hell knows?
So little is understood.
What's happening in New Braunfels, Abe?
It's sort of normalish. People are driving really crazy.
Yeah.
You guys
we got the social distancing thing, which I'm kind of digging, because everybody's standing in these blue painters tape squares.
Yeah.
It's a little weird.
Yeah. We should, after all this is over, we should keep the blue painters tape squares. Just kind of
100%. 100%.
Yeah, like don't be laying on me in line. You know what I mean? So, are you guys under the same shelter in place restrictions as Austin is there in New Braunfels, or are you guys not subject to that?
Well, we're Hayes County, so it's a little more lax here.
Okay.
Because they're locking a bunch of stuff down, like no bars, no interaction, pretty much at all in Austin. You can still go to Walmart or whatever, but a lot of the places are doing like HEB is pretty much all curbside service only. And we can still go in HEB, but they're saying like in the next day or two it'll be curbside only.
Yeah, our HEBs here are doing curbside, but curbside is 2 weeks out. So if you order it, you'll get it in 2 weeks. And they're letting people into the stores, but they're only letting them in like 150 or 200 at a time. Yeah. So you have to wait in line. 3 people walk out, they let 3 people in. A person walks out, they let a person in. So it's a huge hassle, but it's better than curbside only, I guess.
Yeah. Well, there is a cool thing. A couple of my buddies have restaurants here in town, and they're doing Corona kits, and it's pretty cool because you can go there and get all this higher grade beef and stuff, restaurant stuff, in a box. It's sort of like Blue Apron, but you just go pick it up.
Yeah, in fact, there are several restaurants here in town that are doing the same thing. They're basically selling their stock because they're not going to be able to cook all of it. And so they're selling it at a good price, and it's usually high quality,
Wrapping and paper in with all of that.
Yeah.
But they're doing margarita kits at this one place. So they got
nice.
They're doing like the Louisiana thing where you have the tape on the lid so it's not open.
Yeah.
And they just like tape a little airline bottle of tequila to the cup with the mixer in it and send you on your way.
That's cool.
That'll work. Yeah, I'd do that.
Yeah, I don't know. I guess there's a loophole. I mean, Texas, that's usually been a no-no, but
from what I understand is that, we're doing growler sales out of the brewery right now, and we usually have no point of purchase or point of sale with the general public out of the brewery because we don't have a dedicated tap room or anything like that. We have a tap room, but it's not an open for business tap room. It's basically a customer tap room, potential customer tap room. So we're doing kind of that same thing. And I think what's happening right now is they're just sort of bending the rules or not enforcing the rules right now to give people every opportunity that they can to make money. Because, in Texas, a lot of parts of Texas, you can't buy a beer. I couldn't buy this beer and then take it out of Murray's Delicatessen or onto the street or whatever. And so I think they're actually bending the rules is what they're doing just for the time being to try to help businesses stay, above water.
Well, what Abe's talking about sounds like it fits in the TABC rules for the carryout stuff, like the Eskimo huts and all like that.
Where they seal it and all that?
Yeah,
I think that what they're doing like the little airline bottles of whatever it is, tequila, whiskey, whatever.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And they're just taping that to the bottle with the mixer in the styrofoam cup.
Yeah,
that's a good idea.
Yeah, that's a good idea. That's totally great. Because Tim's, I don't know if you heard us, Tim's Brewery, they're doing growlers. So like up to
that's cool.
Up to 64. I've got one in here. I need to bring it to you guys, but
yeah.
I can't.
Tomorrow we'll be there.
I can't handle too much more of this crap. So,
is that Frio?
Frio. I had 2 cases of it ready for the sailing season, man. So,
so what is I haven't got my head wrapped around it. What is the appropriate sailboat age for a Frio?
The best. I never tracked it, but I don't know if I told you I don't know if I told the story of it. We played a gig one time and people were asking about Frio and we bought some. And that was the gig we played where we filled one of our old kayaks that you and I used to run around in when we were kids. We filled it with ice and put beer in it. We got some Frio and it was crap. And Tim, being a brewer, he tasted it and he said, "Oh yeah, that has insert boring chemistry bullshit here." And he said, "Just put it away." Yeah, he said, "Just put it away for a month. It'll be fine." So I'm like, okay, well, this sucks. And I put it in my shop fridge. And then it was into the next season. So we're talking 2 months at least. But I started leaving it at the observatory, leaving it in the sailboat. So month, 2 months, depending on temperature, it mellows out. It's really good. So who the hell knows? I'm going to say month or 2. Yeah, it's got a sulfury taste. Tim can tell you what that's all about, but it does mellow out.
It's sulfur. So that's the thing about lagers. Lagers actually in the fermentation process, the behavior of the yeast produces a type of sulfur, and that sulfur has to fall off before you can serve the beer. That's one of the reasons that lagers get lagered. Lagering means basically you keep it cold and store it for a long time in a cold, dark place. And what happens is those the esters from the yeast, well, there's a bunch of other things happening chemically there, but what happens is the sulfur gets broken down into esters, and that's called the Yumbuke. If you taste a lager too soon and it tastes really bad like sulfur, Like, I mean, you're down in New Braunfels, you know what sulfury water smells and tastes like.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so if you get that when you taste a new lager, it's not time to drink it yet. But the interesting thing about Jung Bouquet is that it can literally fall off in a day. You can taste it there one day and you go back the next day and it's gone. So, over time, over 6 months, if you can let a lager beer, even if it's already canned and carbonated, if you can let it sit for 6 months in a cold, dark place, it'll taste really, really good. It'll ages a bit like wine. That's why at Oktoberfest, a lot of the Oktoberfest beers are called Märzen beers. Auf Deutsch, in German, Märzen is March. So they brew those beers in March, and then they put them in casks down in cellars, and they leave them there for 6 months until September, right about the time Oktoberfest begins, and they've been maturing and aging for that whole time. And that's why a lot of those Oktoberfests are called Märzen beers. And that's one of the reasons they do that, is to make sure that the beer is smooth and it's lost all of its sulfur. So that's one of the reasons you can buy a cheap lager at the store, throw it in your beer keezer or whatever for 2 months, 3 months, 6 months, and it tastes like a completely different beer down the line. So there you go. Yeah, I geeked out on beer once again.
The Coors Light in my back porch ice chest. Some of it's been there for 4 weeks.
Yeah, there you go. Well, as long as it doesn't get hot, that's the only thing. Don't let it get hot. Yeah.
Yeah, I told you, somebody talk about a 2012 beer found in the man cave. I can't see who posted that. That had to be delicious.
Oh yeah.
A while,
so
I bet that.
Yeah, it's he said, Tim, I found a Coors Light from 2012 in my man cave. Will that be any good now if I chill it out? It depends. If it got hot or if it was subject to wild temperature swings, it probably won't taste good. It may taste like hobo feet, because what happens is even though beer is fermented and there's a lot of alcohol in it, there are still certain bacteria that survive. All beer has bacteria in it, whether it's new beer, aged beer, whatever. And if you get that beer hot, or if you allow the beer to become light struck by the sun, like beers like this that have clear bottle, you don't want to take it out in the sun because it causes that bacteria to multiply. So you can give it a shot though. I mean, get it cold, get it real close to freezing, like around 33 degrees, 34 degrees, and pop it open and see how it tastes. You won't get hurt by it. It'll just taste bad. None of the bacteria, none of the microbiome that lives in beer will harm you. It just tastes terrible. That's why you're safe even with an infected beer. In fact, if you like sour beers or Belgian beers, those are intentionally infected beers. That's why they taste the way they taste, because they've been intentionally infected. So you won't be harmed by it. It'll just either taste good or it'll taste bad and you'll throw it away.
Holy crap. Chief Johnson just joined. My Coast Guard unit. Hey, Chief. Hey, Tim. Blake just asked what you guys have on tap.
Right now, we have our Marabia chocolate ale, which is really good. We've got some of that. We have our IPA on tap. We've got, I believe, West Texas Gold Blonde Ale is on tap, and West Texas Intermediate Lager is on tap. That's one that Aaron and I came up with. That's sort of a cross between a Vienna lager and a Bock. It's a really good beer. So that's what we have on tap. Bring your growlers, or we have some small growlers. I don't know the prices off the top of my head of what Aaron is charging for those, but I think it's like $20 with a growler. No, I think it's $20 for a 64 if you bring your own growler. I don't know. I'm talking out of my ass now. I don't know the pricing, but check Eccentric Brewing Company's Facebook page, and the pricing should be on there. But it's something like what I'm saying. I may be off a few bucks.
All right. I'll do something shameless. Go to Eccentric Brewing, purchase a growler of whatever they have. It is all awesome. Take it to Axelholic's Hatchet House, book on Facebook for a private session, and you'll have a great time. Absolutely guaranteed.
That is a resounding endorsement.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And then I just, when you went to that screenshot, I noticed the Trash 80 shirt.
Yeah. Jim Storms.
As cool as it gets right there.
Yeah. Jim Storms gave me one of these in one of the episodes. I love it, man. Thank you. One of my favorite shirts.
Yeah. That's hot.
Yeah. We don't.
Speaking of hot.
Yeah.
Look at this. Yeah.
Hey,
She brought me a Frio. She heard us.
hi, Nicole. She can't hear me.
They said hi.
Hello.
They can't hear you. She says hi.
Yeah,
And
Blake,
she
we don't
shot the
have any.
finger.
Sam and Blake, we don't have any porters right now. It's kind of not the right time of year for that, but we do have. Oh no, we may not. Our stout. I think everybody came and bought the stout over the past couple of days. We had a keg of FMJ stout, which is one of our thankfully all of our beers sell really well, but that stout is the main reason we haven't concentrated very much on porters, because winter, spring, summer, fall, people drink the crap out of the stout. So, but I don't think we have any right now. What we're doing, just so you guys know, the distributor right before all of this happened came and got all of our beer out of our cold room. So what we're running and on tap is the stuff that we had in partial fills. So we're going to keep selling it until we're out of those partial fill kegs, and then we'll punt from there and decide what we're going to do. So we're selling what we have that the distributor didn't already take. All right. Sorry. I keep dominating this freaking live stream with beer talk now. Sorry.
Well, you're getting a lot of beer questions, which is a pretty relevant thing during all these stay-at-home times. It's
Yeah.
It works at home too. It's not just a social lubricant. It's a social lubricant for social distancing. How about that?
Yeah. There you go.
And Blake, why the hell are you even asking, man? He'll drink that Desert Door. They sent me a picture one time. Him and Mike Elliott were drinking Desert Door. Just, yeah.
That stuff.
I don't know how.
That's unarticulately bad.
I'll tell you
And
how
I can't believe he took
unarticulable.
2 shots of it.
They drank a bottle of it.
Oh,
Those two dudes.
Wait.
So,
No.
I don't know, you guys have seen the episodes. Abe, you probably seen it where we actually drank that stuff. The first time that when we got the bottle, like over 2 years ago, and I was on this really shit chemo and I couldn't taste anything. And Tim and Cliff and I got together and we sat out in my backyard. And you guys just heard Tim describe the flavor of a beer. That's how Tim talks. He's like me. He can articulate everything that's passing through his brain. And so Tim's telling the story. I was riding my motorcycle and blah, blah, blah. It just was raining chicks and I had no idea what to do. And then I go, here, try this. And he goes, so I shifted into third gear and he goes, and I saw this beautiful sunset. That's the worst thing I've ever tasted. But anyway, we were going down the road. And so that was the shortest description of anything I ever got out of it.
Yeah, it tastes like burning Band-Aid AIDS. I don't know what else to describe.
Well,
how else to describe it.
Ashtray
juice. Ashtray juice.
There you go.
And I got it when Blake was here, was 1970s inflatable pool toy blowback, right? And it sprays some of the hot breath and outgassing carcinogens in your face. That was the note that I had. So,
oh man, yeah, that stuff is polarizing.
Up there with Dunky Heineken.
I like Heineken though.
Heineken was my go-to beer forever. Heineken with a lime, and then sometimes a shot of tequila here and there. That was sort of my getting ready for the gig juice. And,
my favorite way to drink Heineken is to buy it from a can, because that the sun hasn't shined on it. It tastes really good from a can.
That guy. Wait, how do I do it? That guy. That's how he talks about shit. Right? This dude right there. Yeah. No words for Desert Door.
Stuff is horrible, man.
Desert Door has silenced him.
Yeah, Blake, that stuff will put more than hair on your chest.
That's the stuff that comes out when Satan has leaky bowel syndrome.
Yeah, dude, I was on some monster chemo and I could still taste it. I couldn't taste anything, but I could taste that. Oh my God.
Nicole got me those pills you take, and it changes how you taste everything. And you can actually drink that with those pills. If you change all the taste about it, then it's drinkable.
But you've eaten century eggs, so
I mean, you keep bringing that up, but yes.
I do. I'm still my cave still smells like duck fart after that stuff. So that was pretty rough. Yeah. Ugh. Yeah. Go ahead.
I still have one in my fridge. I can go grab that right now and just open.
It's not like it's going to spoil. Just hang on to it.
It's true.
Yeah. Any food, when you look at it and you think the first thing that comes to your mind is, I should throw this as far away as possible. You should probably think about.
Yeah. I don't.
Have y'all seen the channel of the guy that eats all the old MREs?
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
There's like some of that stuff. It's clearly not what it used to be, and he'll still put some of it in his mouth.
He's actually really good. I've noticed it's something like something 1989, Steve 1989 or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't think of the name of the channel off the top of my head, but it's something like that. He knows like to where to look out for what foods will contain botulism and that sort of thing. And so and now he'll tell you too, he's gotten sick several times, like bad sick. He had to go to the hospital one time. But over the years of eating all those old MREs from the World War I, World War II, Vietnam, he'll get those MREs and open it up and eat stuff out of them. But he's become an expert at this. May have botulism, so I probably don't want to eat this part, but I will eat this part. It's crazy.
I was on a search and rescue mission in the late 80s, early 90s, and I was with James Baggs, who's a veterinarian, a good friend of mine. He wasn't a vet yet, but his wife was a nurse and had done microbiology, and we were just sitting and talking, and I ran a knife through my 200th MRE, and I licked the knife, and you could smell the spoiled food on it.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, "Holy crap!" I just put that in my mouth, and I had airline tickets for a trip and all that coming up, and they told me that we couldn't find where the package was broken. And he said, if it's infected with something anaerobic, that's like the worst thing you can get, like a disease that or a microbe that does not consume oxygen or open air. That was horrible. But that's the only one I ever got. I've had some that taste like shit, but other than that, not the stuff we had in the Coast Guard was actually pretty good. Those are the newer ones.
Yeah, I've had a lot of, military and former military guys say MREs are actually very good. You just have to pick the right ones. And the worst ones, from what I've been told, are the ones that are like long-term deployment MREs that are very calorie dense and very carbohydrate dense. They say that a lot of those, they taste good, but you pay the price for eating them because they're such dense meals.
Oh yeah.
And you have to be careful. Yeah. You have to take like a ton of water.
Yeah. Yeah. You got to chase them with a ton of water. You won't shit for a month.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Mom has been eating a lot of MREs. She's stationed up just outside of Seattle right now. And it's all MRE. And plus she's been doing like the vegan MREs, which I didn't know were a thing.
Yeah.
And she told me all about it. She's like, yeah, if you want to make sure that you don't go to the can for like 4 or 5 days, just eat one of those vegan MREs.
I'll tell you the worst thing in the world you can do. I had some MREs and I went on a hunting trip. This is years and years ago when I first went to the sheriff's office in like 91, 92. So I had a whole bunch of MREs and I go on a hunting trip, and we were there for a week, and it was during bow season. So I just took a whole week off. And so it was a shift of probably like 10 guys on this lease. So 3 or 4 of us were there for the first few days, and we're sleeping in tents and eating MREs. I mean, all I had was a duffel bag and a bow, and that was it. So I'm chomping on these MREs, man. I'm used to them, and they're really not bad. Heat them up a little bit. You learn how to make Ranger pudding or Ranger pizza. You're good to go. These are the old dark brown bags. So after all of that, then the guys show up, the older guys that bring like their RV, and they cook Mexican food.
Oh, they're glamping.
Yeah. Yeah, they're pretty well They had a satellite dish, all that stuff, yeah. So then they made some really like spicy breakfast tacos, and that is like building an artillery piece out of your intestinal system, man. You have the projectile and then you have the charge. So I'll let you sit with that.
Yeah, Matt always knew how to paint a picture with words.
Mm. Yeah, that was oh my God, that was the thing.
Yeah, we have a scoutmaster who's his sons have been out of scouting for several years now, but he still likes to come out with us. And I sort of cringe every time I see his name on the schedule for dinner, because it's usually what I've wound up calling the guaranteed blowout, which is sort of a Frito pie-ish thing, because he just cops out and he brings like 2 giant cans of stuff with Fritos and cheese.
Oof.
And it's like ranch style beans and some kind of whatever it is, Sam's Club chili.
Oh my God.
Wow.
I got to where like I tried to make sure that I pack a sandwich or something for that night.
Ugh.
Yeah, you got to know what
You don't want to be like on a 12-mile hike in Big Bend and then have that have the charge enter the chamber. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
Oh, dude, I tell you, back in my SWAT days, one of our guys had a birthday, and we go to this Mexican restaurant with a buffet. And dude, if there's ever an expression that needs to be written, it's like a SWAT team on a buffet, dude. I mean, it was complete carnage and waste. And so everybody eats, we go home, everybody goes to bed, and right about the time your eyes close, this is back in pager days, all of our pagers go off. We had a barricaded guy. And every one of us, man, and I was on the rifle team, there were 2 of us, and we got in our hide. It was about 20 minutes, your guts start going, and there it went, man. And the whole team was like that. I look at the entry team, and they're walking like that old man in that Tim Conway, Carol Burnett, going through the door. Yeah, man. Not a single dude. There were 12 of us. Nobody shit their pants. It was a miracle, but that
It's
actually
like a Benny
happened.
Hill skit.
It was, man. That needs to be written into a movie at some time. That really happened. It was horrible.
Wow. Yeah, I just put a comment in the chat. We're totally talking about Dookie at this point.
Yeah, conversation can erode pretty fast, man.
Yeah, the response was, this turned into a shit show. It totally did.
It always does. Yeah. Oh my God.
Totally awesome.
Yeah, what are you gonna do, man?
Mm-hmm.
Well, it's
everything.
sad.
I've been grounded, by the way.
All humor and all podcasts, if they go on long enough, resolve at excremental bodily functions.
Oh yeah, all of them will.
Yeah.
Yep.
What happened, Abe?
I've been grounded. I can't fly, so that's the only thing that's really messing me up. Everything else is mostly normal. I mean, all my gigs are canceled, of course, but
yeah. Welcome to the
my
club.
wife works at the post office, and she came up with symptoms. She had a cough for a couple of days. They sent her home and made her get tested or whatever, and now they're like, "Well, we don't want you at the airport either." So,
Oh wow.
that's it for me for a little while.
Yeah, they well, I got grounded shit. When did I get sick again, Tim?
Gosh, it was
like spring of 18.
Spring of 18, yeah, that's about right.
Yeah, I self-grounded, so I feel you, man. I don't know how that goes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that was a complete.
I don't know if there's much general aviation going on where you guys at, but I'm still sort of in the traffic pattern of San Marcos regional, and there's not much. I mean, usually there's Cessnas all over my house all day. There's nothing going on.
It's
Yeah.
I'm right off the end of Midland Air Park, off of one of the runways, and it's slowing down. And I was on Reddit today, and one of the larger was it Riddle? I can't remember. One of the schools, they shut down because they don't want 2 or more people, because they'll run crews of 3 for training, 3 or more. Like if you're doing instrument or whatever, they'll put a pre-rating student in the back seat while a rating student will fly, and they're shutting all that down.
I know that there's one group of dudes out east of town, out in the Class G that's just east of Air Park, that fly ultralights and paramotors and stuff like that. And I haven't been out there for a week or two, but I would imagine that if those guys are all laid off and laid up, they're probably going to be spending a lot of time out there. I know I would, that it's a good way to pass the time, but I don't know about general aviation. I know that commercial aviation has definitely slowed here.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, well, people stopped complaining about chemtrails, so it's slowed down quite a bit.
yeah. Chemtrails and gay frogs are kicking off again, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Hey, Tim, point of contention, man. This might be the perfect time to buy a CGS Aero.
yeah, and actually, man, I'm looking at. I have this little small litany, this little pantheon of ultralights that I'm looking at right now. The Hawk is one of them.
CGS Hawk, I'm sorry.
Yeah, I knew what you were talking about. The Hawk is definitely one of them. They're a little bit hard to find. And also the Aerolite 103, but they're a little bit expensive. But they're really, they're the Cadillacs of ultralight airplanes. But I'm really interested in this tail dragger that's called the Air Bike. You sit on it basically like a motorcycle. I mean, it has a pilot seat and you have your rotor pedals, but your rotor pedals are right underneath the engine. It's a very small, compact design with lots and lots of airfoil. I mean, the wing area is really big, and they have pretty good reviews. They look a little bit sketchy. They're a little bit small to be a tail dragger like that, but they have a pretty good record, as good a safety record as any of the other popular ultralights right now. And man, those things are only like $3,000 without an engine. So you can get into one with an engine and all the stuff you need for like $6,500, probably somewhere around in there. So that's one of the ones I've been looking at, but I don't know. We'll see. Right now, I'm not buying anything. No, nothing.
I understand.
No, not until I get some multimedia clients back, and not until I'm sure that we're going to be blowing and going 1,000 miles an hour at the brewery again. So just hanging in there right now.
I did see that Air Bike on Reddit. That's pretty cool. And there's also a club, Scandinavia somewhere, and these guys are reconstructing the old German trainer gliders, like the ones that are built on a single skid, where the pilot's just like out in the wind.
Yeah.
And I would love to fly one of those.
That would be cool.
I just think that would be totally, yeah. And they throw them off hills. They were hand launching them off hills. Of course, now they still do bungee and they do car launches, but they're still shooting them off hills.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So Kopitz was saying that they were flying. Yeah, they're always flying stall planes out there. I know what you're talking about. The kind of those big tire tail dragger stall planes. They're kind of like bush planes, is what they are.
Like a de Havilland Beaver.
Carbon Cubs or whatever.
I just like to say Beaver. Beaver.
Yeah.
Fat tire bush planes. Those things are pretty cool. Those guys will take off in like 15 feet, land in 20 feet. It's pretty amazing. Dude.
Yeah. And the whole, that was the amazing thing when the whole, Abe, you remember when the Sport Pilot thing came out, right? That was going to be the be all end all that, the regular jack-offs like me that just want to, drive 3 miles to the airport, get in my airplane, fly around daylight VFR and land. And you could fly Piper Cubs and Aranca Champions and Luscombe 8As and all these cool airplanes. And they were going to make new ones. They did 2 years of the Cessna Skycatcher, and then they make the Carbon Cub that's like $1 million. Yeah, they're just phenomenal. American legend.
I remember when kit boxes came out, that was the thing. I mean, my dad was just like tail over teacup. Was like, I got to get a kit fox. And,
yeah.
Dude, that's a great design.
Just exploded.
That is a cool thing. For everybody that doesn't know, Abe is my cousin, and his dad, Frank Combist, one of the coolest people to ever walk the earth. Just one of my lifelong idols. Tell them about the Road Rocket. I do not have a picture of the Road Rocket, but tell everybody about the Road Rocket. This is the kind of shit that my uncle had in his shed.
So the Road Rocket was there was a company, I can't remember when they started, maybe early to mid 70s. What is it? Fiber Fab, and they started doing all these kit cars. And anyway, my dad got his hands on one of these kits and started building it with a couple of these other guys in Corpus Christi that were like big time Volkswagen hot rodder kind of guys. And so they managed to modify it. So what it is, it's a fiberglass body that's the shape of whatever it is, a 66 or 67 GT40, and it sits on a Volkswagen chassis.
Oh,
it's
yeah.
got a Volkswagen engine in it. And of course, the first engine that my dad put in this thing was so radical that, you know, it had like, the normal Volkswagen engine or whatever is like a 1600 cc. This thing was like 2600, and it had every whistle and bell, and he wound up blowing it up. But this is a really cool looking car because it was super light and really low to the ground. And just, it looks like, if you've ever just Google what a GT40 looks like a 66 or 67.
Oh yeah, the
GT40.
classic. Yeah.
Yeah. And so this, he modified the body though, because it had like this real Donald Duck tail on the back of it, and he didn't like it, so he just took a Sawzall and cut it all off, and then made the back of, yeah, there you go. But this was like, there's actually, if you look on eBay, if you search Fiber Fab Avenger, or no, it's a Fiber Fab GT12. That's close.
That's the one you posted the other day, right?
Yeah. There's actually a picture of my dad's car with an airplane. It's like a magazine ad for Fiber Fab. But he built this thing, and I've been trying to find it for years because he did a bonehead thing and traded it to some guy for another Volkswagen. Because I guess he had intentions of giving the Beetle to my sister, and I wanted to keep the Road Rocket. So, but yeah, it was a cool car.
You know, I mean, if anything still exists, you would think it would be something like that. Someone would look at it and go, yeah, we might not want to destroy this or junk it. Maybe we'll just store it somewhere. Maybe it's in a barn someplace at this point.
That's what I'm thinking.
Mm-hmm.
But, and you know, unless somebody wrapped it around a tree and then it's over.
Pretty neat looking.
Yeah, they're definitely cool.
He designed the interior, which was really cool. And somewhere I have pictures of all this. I have to go through boxes of stuff, but he laid out the instrument panel just like an airplane. So he's got breakers instead of fuse boxes, and he had cylinder head temperature and all this stuff, and he painted all the light bulbs and the instruments red. So it was like sitting in a airplane with steam gauges. It was pretty neat.
That is cool.
But yeah, those are pretty cool cars. Yeah, if you search I think it's Fiber Fab GT12 catalog on eBay, the picture of that car pops right. I've got it saved somewhere.
I remember seeing those. Yeah, that was a neat car.
Yeah, I'm looking at them now. Those are pretty cool. That would be a fun project.
Gunmetal gray with it had these really neat rims that were actually magnesium wheels, which somehow my dad found them before they stopped making them. So they were super light, but also super flammable.
Yeah. Well, you know, the term that we use today, mag wheel, comes from the fact that they used to all be made out of magnesium. Like for motorcycles in the 70s, the Lester magnesium wheels, those were the performance aftermarket wheels everybody wanted. They were literally magnesium, and that's where that term mag came from. Oh, it's got mag wheels. Now we call everything mag wheels. Yeah. flammable.
I just had somebody say, I hope this is recorded somewhere. It will be episode 54, I guess, of the podcast.
Are you going to put it over on the YouTube side too?
Yeah. Just so everybody knows what's going on. I said this at the very first. We had 4 episodes booked of guests coming in, and because of the Chinese bat AIDS disease, that all kind of went away. And so it's been almost a month since we've been here because of my treatment schedule. And if I felt good, I was out doing stuff. And we're going to upload this as another episode. And I'm going to go back to some of the guests and ask if they want to come on and do it by StreamYard, which is what we're using now. It's a little more podcaster friendly than Skype or anything else. So this will be on YouTube at a better than 2-hour episode. It'll take approximately forever for it to upload, but we'll definitely put it up. And my subscriptions are all lapsed as far as timing, so I can upload this episode with no problem, I think. By the way, Abe,
you should be able to.
Abe, your live feeds have been kicking ass. Abe's been jamming and hanging out, having a great time. So,
yeah, I get stir crazy to sit out in the he shed and just solo it,
Yeah, I feel you, man. I've kind of lost my mojo. I'm trying to do some bass tracks for Tim, and I'm just, shit, man. I sound like a synthesizer these days, but. My cousin, if you guys don't know, Abe is a badass rockabilly guitar player, singer, drummer, musician extraordinaire, and I will. My claim to fame is I taught him his first song on guitar.
Yeah,
and he played in the talent show. Prelude in A minor.
You get all the blame for opening the door. I've tortured a lot of people over the years.
Yeah, I know how that goes, man. I've turned people onto some stuff that they've gone completely off into the ditch. I understand. But this whole group, the whole Van Cave ethos, everybody in it's about going off the ditch. So we know how that goes.
This is true. Absolutely.
We had Mike drinking whiskey the other night. It got so bad.
Mm-hmm. That was an accomplishment.
Mike,
and
I love. Oh, go ahead, Tim. I'm sorry.
Oh no, I was just going to say, Mike, it was kind of weird to see you drink because in all the years I've known you, that was actually the first time. And when someone doesn't drink, it's kind of a personal thing, and you don't like. I never wanted to ask you, why don't you drink, dude? Because I sound like a dick enough as it is, without asking questions like that. And so. I thought, well, does Mike have a drinking problem? I wanted to be sensitive, just because you're my buddy. And then you were like, oh no, I just don't drink because I hate the taste.
Yeah,
I don't have a drinking
like
problem.
it.
Yeah, I just don't like it. And I was like, okay, all right, good.
I've seen Mike like it one time. He drank some red wine to chase down that fucking duck egg that he made me eat. But that was it. The rest of the time, it's just to torture him. Like I gave him a bottle. That bottle over there of Desert Door, I gave it to him for his birthday, and he brought it back and left it, and ran away.
Oh, but, yeah. It was a year later, though. I held on to it for a year.
You did, and it did not, what should we say, mature? Or, it didn't get any better. Check out Mike, the Apple Cider Club. He just did an April Fool's episode where I got to be the fool. Unwittingly, but really, really good episode and a cool podcast. So that was about it.
Did you publish that today, Mike?
Yeah, it went up today.
Okay, I wonder. I have not gotten a notification for it, so I'm checking my subscriptions real quick.
Yeah, I got them. I actually got. By the way, Tim, fantastic episode with Britt too. That was really good.
Oh, thanks. Yeah, we had a fun day, man.
Tim is Tim Kreitz Adventures, also on YouTube for those who don't know, and that was a really good episode. I'm sorry I couldn't make it with you guys.
Yeah, we are too. Yeah, we are too, man. It would have been great to have all you guys with us, but it was a fun day and it was a nice little escape and very, very much needed. So I wonder why I'm not seeing. something's going wrong here. Oh, here it is. Here it is. It's in the news feed, but I didn't get a notification. There now. It's on my watch later, so I don't miss it.
That comes and goes, man.
Man, I'm telling you, nobody hates the small creator more than YouTube themselves. They will screw small channels around over and over and over again. So I have to constantly be looking. If somebody says, yeah, man, I put out that video. Like my buddy Chuck in California has a YouTube channel, and he did a video where he rode his motorcycle around downtown LA, and it's like a ghost town. It's literally like Night of the Comet. And everybody was talking about it on the Friday night hangout. And I was like, what are you guys talking about? Why haven't I gotten that? And for some reason, YouTube decided not to send me a notification for it. I have absolutely no idea why they're doing that. But I always get subscriptions, notifications for big channels that I subscribe to, but sometimes yes and sometimes no for the little channels. So it just sucks.
It's the same thing, yeah.
Are you guys seeing any of the throttling that's going on? Because I'm 90% sure that I am. That there was a lot of throttling going on because of the sudden uptick in streaming, with everybody being at home and watching Netflix and Amazon and whatnot, YouTube, and we started having a lot of problems.
Our service is notoriously bad out here, but it's kind of been a little worse. I think it just seems like to me maybe it's a cognitive dissonance, or I'm just on the internet at the same time everybody else is, but it seems like that's when things start to slow down and crash. Even just like, the kids in the living room watching Netflix or whatever it is that he does.
Yeah,
I start having problems.
I use a service called Grande Communications, and the only thing, and it's blazing, smoking fast, badass internet service. The only problem I've had since everybody's been staying home is I have one television in my house, and it's the television that's furthest in the house from the router, and it struggles sometimes for some reason. And I don't know why that would make a difference, because throttling shouldn't affect the router, the router connection. But I can tell for some reason that one television is struggling, and I haven't discovered the mystery to that one yet. Otherwise, I'm blazing.
I'm approaching conspiracy theory material here, but same thing. We had the meltdown where I had to reconfigure everything. When we got the new computer, we're running VR, and everything's a lot faster with a lot more data. And I updated everything. It ran completely smooth up until about a week ago.
Huh.
And I'm having the same kind of problem. I'm running into issues that I just did not have. That I ran this laptop. I ran 2 computers in the office on Cat 5, 2 TVs, alarm system, Nicole's computer, bam. And then as soon as this happened, as soon as she started working from home, everything's choking up, and that makes absolutely no sense. Everything on Cat 5 is running fine. I'm playing Elite daily now, and Elite runs like a sewing machine, and it's a pretty data intense game. So
yeah,
but I'll have to put my foil hat on for that one. But it's running.
How much time a week are you spending playing Elite Dangerous in VR?
Every day I tell myself I'm going to play an hour. And it is typically average probably around 2 hours a day playing Elite.
Okay. A 2 hour on a VR game like that. If you're keeping a 2 hour per day average per week, that's impressive, because that is one of the most immersive games, period. Even if you're not playing it VR, it's incredibly immersive. But when you put the VR hood on, you are literally in another world, or many worlds. It's so cool.
I've played under the current setup. I looked at it. I've got about 140 hours on it. Since I've finalized the way I'm going to do everything and built my ship. To this day, I'll make a hard turn and wait for the G's to hit me. It's amazing.
Yep.
Elite Dangerous is one of those games. It will either completely hook you in or it won't. But it's still amazing to see just the graphics involved, and
yeah, it's a spectacle to look at.
Yeah, and the physics, and every time, the moment you get bored, without changing the storyline or adding or subtracting to the game, it will get better the moment you get bored. Mm-hmm. It's phenomenal. For instance, raised my combat rating, been flying around hunting pirates, and I've learned all these tricks about turning off your flight assist. So with flight assist, it flies like an airplane. Without it, it flies like a spacecraft with complete space physics, like the moon lander, which opens, it'll freak your mind out. Complete different physics operating in space. And then you upgrade minute engineer level details on your spacecraft. You'll blow your mind, especially if you're a super geek like me. So yeah, I'm into it.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's and that game's been around since 1984. So it's been around a long time. And you play it online with friends. I play with Jim Storms all the time. We actually form a wing to make more money.
I keep threatening that, I need to rebuild. I need a new multimedia computer, and I keep going back and forth. I mean, I don't need one, but I really do need to get one because 4K editing 4K video, it's not a problem if I'm doing a TV commercial in 4K and it's a 30-second TV spot. That's not a problem. But if I do a documentary film, or if I don't do my 10, 15 minute Tim Kreitz adventures in 4K, even though I shoot a lot of it in 4K, simply because processing time gets really bad in here. So I do need a new machine at this point. And I'm actually considering, just because of Elite Dangerous and a few of the other VR games you have, I'm considering abandoning Macintosh on my next multimedia computer, just so I can have all that stuff and get a Steam Valve Index and all that.
Yeah, VR is a game changer.
Yeah, I mean, it really is.
Yeah. And again, Elite it's very technical. It's the thing is, you can take a person who can enjoy the average flight simulator or flying vehicle type game, and you run them through the tutorial and show them the controls. They're going, oh, this is cool. And then you start playing the game and you go, well, what the hell do I do? Because it's just an open universe. Mm-hmm. You can do whatever you want. You can bounty hunt. You can go mining. You can go exploring. You can chart new areas. You can be a smuggler. You can be essentially a space truck driver, build a giant ship and haul materials back and forth.
Space trucking.
That's right. So
there you go.
Yeah. It's just not, I could talk forever about Elite Dangerous. And then about the time you think you're getting the hang of it, you'll have a question about something. You'll look it up on YouTube and watch a video and realize you're just a toe in the water. So, and I want to, I would kind of like to season this with the fact that I'm not a gamer. I'm not hooked on any game other than Elite Dangerous. There's stuff I play in VR that's just cool. It's fun. And occasionally I'll run across a video game that, you maybe play for 20, 30 minutes when you're bored. Elite Dangerous, it's like I have to tell my wife, when you're done with whatever you're doing, it's time to watch the movie, please come tell me. Because I have taken that off and gone, what is this bright thing coming through the window? I don't. And I once played it for 6.5 hours straight. So
wow.
There's that.
Yeah.
Nice. I don't know. I'm kind of geeking out on the. My gamer days sort of stopped around Halo. I can't remember which one. Halo, BioShock, whatever, maybe Modern Warfare, Call of Duty. Yeah. Because I'm playing with my son, and now, of course, I've got all this extra time. I could probably be a gamer again. But
yeah, I was thinking the same thing.
Yeah, I'm really excited about the new I've seen some previews for the new Microsoft Flight Simulator, but
It's
they're
incredible.
saying that it's all, you're gonna have to have like ridiculous internet speed to be able to run it.
Yeah, to run it online,
So
to
I'm
be
a little
online,
worried about it.
it's not like FSX, man. You're going to have a really, really wide amount of bandwidth to really get the most out of it playing it online. Yeah, because it's incredible. If you guys haven't seen it, just go on YouTube and look for the new flight simulator, Microsoft Flight Simulator demos and all that. You forget there are certain cut scenes where you look at and you can't tell that you're looking at computer generated imagery. It's really
We're looking
awesome.
at Elite
Yeah, they've
Dangerous
got-
right
yeah,
now.
that
Go
Yeah, it
ahead,
looks
Dave.
great.
I was just
Yeah, the graphics on that new Flight Simulator look amazing. Of course, I said that when the Flight Simulator 10 came out,
Mhm.
and I messed with that forever. And now it just makes the Flight Simulator 10 kind of look like an Atari game.
yeah. I saw that. I've played 10. In fact, I was going to put 10 on my new machine that I play this game on, and as soon as I saw the demo, I was like, I'm going to wait.
Yeah.
So
Pretty
yeah,
cool though.
yeah. Elite
Well-
is. Go ahead.
Oh, I was just going to say, well, one thing I did do, Abe, is I did pull my Xbox 360 back out, dusted it off, plugged it in. It still works. And so now I've been fiddling around with Ace Combat and forgotten what a good game that was for as old as it is and how well the graphics and everything hold up. But I'm thinking about starting a brand new campaign and going right back through Fallout 3. Speaking of the old games, like you were talking about,
I
because
got
it
to
was
jump
such a fun
in.
game.
Yeah, my son is huge into Fallout. Like,
Oh,
he's got,
yeah.
Fallout posters and stuff in his room, and it's all about it.
I got to jump in real quick, dudes. I accidentally locked up my. By the way, guys, don't scroll up on the comments because it'll lock you out. Joe Bullock is on. Hi, Joe. Joe is one of the founders of the Wolfpack, the Howling Place, the cancer group, Man Up to Cancer, the Howling Place. And he brought up Tiger King.
I haven't seen it yet, but it's freaking me out already.
Dude, I saw it. I'm ready to use low yield tactical nukes on Oklahoma and Florida. Go ahead, Mike. Give us your spin on it.
I don't know that I can really say anything about that show because it is just insane to watch. And
yeah,
it just gets crazier the more you watch it, and at the end of the whole thing, you just have to sit there for a minute and just let everything that you saw just kind of sit with you, and then that's when you start. It's crazy. You need to watch it. I can't.
Yeah.
There's nothing I can say that's gonna be like, oh yeah.
Everybody says that.
Yeah.
Like the insanity curve is unmeasurable. Like,
yeah.
You know that they reopened a cold murder case as a result of that show, right?
Yeah, I saw that. And I, dude, we saw this like a solid 2 weeks before people were talking about it on Facebook. My wife and I were I wasn't feeling particularly great. I was kind of vegetative and, well, we'll see what this is. And it's like a 500-pound stripper. You just can't look away. You're just mesmerized.
It's a very good description of it. Yeah.
Yeah. And being in law enforcement, I'm like, I've dealt with every one of these people, this type of person. And it spans the gamut and everything, meth heads to a culty type environment. And it is absolutely phenomenal, the control that thing has. And we watched it, and I thought, this is going to shake the trees. It's been however long since that lady's husband disappeared, and I thought, this is going to be when somebody jumps out. And what made me think that, when I was watching it, I thought, this is going to be all over Facebook by next week, and it was. And I'm terrible with predictions. But I was on Reddit, and Reddit has a thing called AMA, ask me anything. And a person will come on, it'd be a dude like me. I'm a retired cop, former SWAT, sex crime investigator, ask me anything. And people ask whatever questions you'd want to ask of somebody like that, like sitting in a bar. And two different employees, former employees of these different zoos mentioning that popped up. And I thought, that murder is going to pop up. Somebody's going to say something that's going to get solved.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Because of all the attention.
Yeah. It's so shake the trees.
Fox News reported that there's an investigator in that county that reopened the case because he feels like he has some new leads and some new directions to go in as a result of the series. So it's crazy, man. Yeah.
Well, I mean, that's all the things that you would want in a cold case. Is a lot of time has passed, and so whatever kept somebody from saying it before, if they're somehow socially linked to Carol or whatever, that they don't want to say anything. Plus, all the time has passed, so that goes away. And now, if you're the one that breaks that, you're a hero, man.
Oh yeah,
you're like on top of the world. So
yeah, that's good for a police officer's career to solve an old cold case too.
Oh,
it's one of the hardest things to do in law enforcement is to open up an old ass cold case and solve it. So
and Joe Bullock just mentioned, he says it's like making of a murder year. Making of a murderer, I know what they were trying to do there, but when you read into that case, they skipped over a lot to make a story. They missed a lot of facts to shave it into documentary, and Tim has a lot to say on that subject. This one, no matter what you look into on Tiger King, that is actually how shitty those people are. That's what they're like. I mean, you can't find anything to the opposite. And even these employees are saying, well, that wasn't every day, but yeah, all that shit happened. Like most days it's just like a shitty redneck zoo, but yeah, all that shit happened. We did live on donations out of the Walmart barrel, the meat that they threw away, that kind of thing.
The Tiger King dude came to Odessa in 2008, right?
Yeah, I looked that up.
Yeah, did you see that? Yeah. In fact, there was a News West 9 dug out one of their old reports they did on it and reposted it to their Facebook page.
Yeah, Music City Mall.
Yeah. Crazy.
I just, I've seen a lot of meth, dealt with a lot of meth heads.
Yeah.
Seen a lot of addiction. And until you would find yourself a normal guy in a homosexual polyamorous marriage, you don't know how bad it is, man.
Crazy, man.
I've never seen anything like that.
Steepest crazy curve of any documentary ever made.
Yeah, I mean, it has everything you could possibly imagine on it.
Wow, man.
That was an absolute shit show. And again, it's a 500-pound stripper. You just cannot. I'm not
look away.
Interested, but I cannot look away. Yeah.
I just feel like I'm probably going to be watching some of my neighbors when I see this, because we have, I kind of live out in the woods, and there's some missing teeth around here, and we've got sort of a weird thing on my road. A quarter of a mile north of me is a paintball range that's like the most trashed out paint. I mean, there's like car doors and whatever junk that they could throw out there in the woods. Yeah. And then a quarter of a mile south of me, and there's only one way to get in and out here. So there's one road, and these people are kind of conjoining. There's a disc golf course that's like a woods, hill country disc golf course. And these people are all sort of mingling right around my house.
Sweet.
It sounds like You know, it's
Wow.
you know, I just hope that they don't wander too far from their little areas.
From their
You know
natural
what?
habitat.
You know what? I'll tell
Hey,
you
Tim?
this. Abe,
Hey,
I'll tell you this, man.
Von Norman just jumped in. Just wanted to
Okay,
let
yeah,
you know.
he was in here earlier. I meant to say hi to him. Hey, Vaughn.
Okay. Go ahead, Tim.
Yeah. Well, all I was going to say to Abe was, look, I mean, I know you think you have some weird stuff going around your house, but I live in an upper middle class neighborhood in North Midland, Texas, and I will tell you straight up that I spent a couple of hours on nextdoor.com today, and I feel less safe than you do right now,
Dude. Before we get into Nextdoor, back in, I don't know, around 2000, 2001, they tested paintball as an event in the police Olympics. They call it an exhibition sport for however many years. And we formed a team, my SWAT team.
Mm-hmm.
And we had the jerseys made with a big badge and we played. And so whenever you go to a game or you're invited or you're playing a tournament or something, there's like I don't know, maybe 60% chance you're going to play at a place that's like next to a little restaurant and a go-kart track or something like that. That's pretty nice.
Mm-hmm.
The rest of those chances, it's a trash pit. It's like a junkyard cleachy pit where people have scratched the shit up into piles, you know, roughly into speedball pylons. So yeah.
Yeah.
That's
They're
part
like
of it.
hiding out in a 74 LTD, you know, that's got no doors on it.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah. Joe Bullock said, "Oh Lord, next door." Yeah, dude, it's.
So tell me, Tim. So bring us in on your Nextdoor experience today. I'm interested in that.
It's several things, and I started getting sucked into trying to talk sense to people who can't be reasoned with.
Oh my God, you interacted?
Yeah, but I stopped. I deleted everything, and I haven't suspended my account, but I turned off all notifications, and I was in 2 active posts that were started by crazy people and then further bolstered by other crazy people. And I realized I can't, if you try to talk to crazy people for too long, you start to look like a crazy person too.
Yeah.
So I just gave up on it. But there is, here's one of the things. Okay. People complaining on Nextdoor that they're going out to do some running around, and they're pissed off because people are out running around.
Yeah.
You people are supposed to be at home. You people are supposed to be sheltering in place. You people are supposed to be social distancing. Why is everyone out running around town? When I was out running around town today, everyone was out running around town. The fuck is the matter with you?
Oh man.
Oh my dude.
So the only reason I got on Nextdoor, I think it's Cliff's fault. By the way, Cliff ghosted us, so fuck that guy. We'll talk shit about him. But it's actually good in the law enforcement world. You know, you can develop patterns and see what kind of things are going on.
It was started by law enforcement.
Yeah.
Right?
I did not know that.
Mm-hmm. It was a law enforcement idea. Yeah.
So I get all that. So I get on it and I start following it every day. And the number one thing was that every dead animal is the indication that there's a future serial killer in the neighborhood.
Oh yeah. Yeah. There's some of that too.
Yeah. And the first time I engaged was a woman that found a cat like laying on her shrubs, dead cat. And in her mind, okay, first of all, the serial killer trifecta, what was it? Shit. Animal mutilation, torture, bedwetting, fire starting. As early as when I went to college, that was the big thing that all serial killers had in common. That's since been flushed because it didn't wash. But all of them trying to convince them that many things other than a serial killer can leave a dead cat laying in a bush, like all the fucking wildlife we have around here that's invaded suburbia as suburbia invaded the habitat. And we had this conversation with Burr Williams on the podcast,
Yeah.
Tim.
Yeah.
And that's what got me. But since then, it's just been a spiral into dumbassery.
Yeah, it is. It is a deep, deep hole of buffoonery. People posting supplements that will cure COVID-19.
Yeah.
That sort of thing. It's just, I thought, man, these people are all in my neighborhood and they're insane.
Yeah.
Just,
I will tell
you guys,
you,
please just go back to posting about finding people's pets and would you please come get your dog or cat? I mean, if it was just that, it would be fine. But this situation has brought out the true nature in a lot of people. Here's another one that pissed me off since you got me rolling.
And another thing.
Did I already talk about this? People posting about how to preserve eggs when you're hoarding your eggs.
You mentioned that, but yeah.
Okay, yeah. So this guy makes a post talking about, those of you who bought a bunch of eggs, here's how you freeze them. You have to take them out of the shell and put them in a muffin pan and freeze them in the muffin pan, and they'll store in the freezer, but you can't store them in the shell, blah, blah, blah. Oh, that's really great. People responding, oh yeah, that's really great. I have 4 dozen. I've got however many. And I posted, the first one of you fuckers I see in HEB who has 15 dozen eggs in your cart, I'm going to pepper spray you. It's going to happen on principle on the spot. So it just everything about it is just not making me feel good about people right now. So I've disengaged with Nextdoor.
I will tell you one of the first things I ran across. We live in Old Midland in the what is it? Country Club, they call it on Nextdoor, which includes the duck pond. And the first thing I saw was a woman ranting about how many ducks are laying dead in the road around the duck pond. It's a travesty, and we need more signage. And there are the cute duck crossings, with the mama duck and the babies all over that place. Now, for those of you who don't know, my wife was an animal control officer for like 7 years. There are 2 ways that the ducks get to the duck pond. If they are white ducks, domestic ducks, somebody dumped them off there. They dumped their Easter ducks there, brought it from their cousin's farm, the little baby duck that's suddenly huge, and they dump them out there. Then the other ones are the wild ducks that fly in. They come and go. And those are some pretty wily bastards. Those ducks have been doing the wild thing for a while. So occasionally they get plowed over by a car. So this woman wanted more signage to, I guess, slow traffic to not run over ducks. So the way she was going to do it, she was going to put on a duck costume and go put signs around the park.
Wow.
And hand candy out to kids. And I thought, okay, first of all, anybody with a penis, if they said that, you would go to prison.
Yeah.
And I
gonna put on a duck costume and hand out candy to the kids.
Right. And I clicked on her profile, just like, do I want to see this? And she's wearing like tights and a duck tutu, this grown-ass woman. And there's like chickens and ducks and a turkey and dogs and cats and shit all in her yard. And I have no idea how that panned out. I couldn't tell you, but that was my first like,
wow,
what the fuck moment on Nextdoor. The next one happened when I finally, a couple of weeks ago, just like, I don't need this shit in my life. I turned off the notifications. Are you guys familiar with duck mating habits?
Yeah, it's pretty violent. It's a lot like cats. Yeah.
So ducks, like my wife was attacked by a duck for getting too close to a nest, and it was adorable. Okay, like this little duck. Nicole is petting him, this duck that ran up to her like a puppy, and she says, I think he's attacking me. And he left these cute little duck bill teeth marks on her. And it was cute. So ducks are just cute. They're cool. On the other side of that, they're the rapiest bastards on the planet.
They are
right?
rapists, man.
Yeah, man. They just females in heat or whatever the hell ducks do. And dude, it is just the most violent like duck gangbang situation you've ever seen. And sometimes the females are crushed.
Yeah, they
so
can
this
die.
Woman, yeah. So this woman talks about witnessing this tragic duck rape. And my wife said that shit happened all the time. And they're like, they're just screwing. We can't do anything about it. Like
it's nature taking its course.
If we went out there in the little city boat to tend to the duck rape, they would all go away. It's just not something that works. So she talked about it, and the female was injured and hobbled off somewhere, and she wanted somebody, of course, to handle it or take care of it. And went out the next day, and the duck was there, and it was dead. And she swears she felt it die. Like in the night, she felt it die. And posted pages of prayers and stuff, and all these people are talking about the tragedy. And immediately I thought, if you could only be aware of all the animal stuff that is happening outside of Midland's duck pond.
Oh my God. If you only knew how many animals the animal control center euthanizes every Monday morning,
Yeah. Or how many ducks are raped to death in the wild.
Yeah. Or get eaten by other predators or whatever, man.
And that's
kind of like that episode of The Simpsons where Lisa Simpson saves that little squirrel. Oh, you're safe, little squirrel, or little chipmunk. Here, head back out into the wild. And the chipmunk takes 3 steps and the eagle comes and grabs it and eats it.
That actually happened. Is a kid in the Air Force. I don't know if you all have seen it. This dude was in the Air Force, and wherever he was living, he had like made a pet out of a mouse. And he gets out of the Air Force, and it shows him go release him somewhere, and this hawk goes, yoink.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Well, see you later.
So I'm with you on Next Door, man. That's just
I it's not good for me. My temperament and the way I see the world is not compatible with Next Door and the people on it. Now I'll check in once in a while if I find somebody's dog or cat or something weird's going on in the neighborhood, and I'll use it to check in. But just to browse, I figured out that browsing nextdoor.com as if I were browsing Facebook, which is bad enough these days.
Never do that. Yeah.
You don't just browse the news feed on Facebook anymore unless you really just want to end up pissed off and feeling bad about humanity. Well, it's a factor of 10 worse on nextdoor.com. You don't just browse the news feed on nextdoor.com. No, you do not.
If you lose your dog, if you find your dog, find a dog, look on Nextdoor. That's why I'm there, is because my dog's a dumbass and she might wander off.
Right.
That's why I'm still there. Otherwise, just stay the hell away from it. That's
exactly.
That's why we have no toilet paper. So, all right, dudes, we're pushing up against 3 hours, and I think that's all the recording time. Can you believe it?
Yeah, that was a fast 3 hours. Yeah. This was so fun.
Well, we haven't talked to any other person other than the people we live with, and
we've all been off by ourselves for 3 weeks. It's nice to get together.
The only person I've had to talk to here is just my cat, so that's been fun.
Where is
Burt Macklin? How is Burt Macklin doing?
He's doing good. He's in the other room right now, though. So.
I was going to say Jen Michael Vincent. I'm glad you guys caught me.
And Abe, it was great having you on here too. The great thing about these StreamYard type streams is that if we do want to have a podcast or something similar with someone who's far away, this is a great tool for that. So I'm glad you incorporated it, man. Yeah. It's very cool.
Yeah, this is cool.
Hey, we may set up again for next Wednesday. The way the whole thing got started I guess we're pushing 30 years now. The sort of core of our social group has been meeting at Murray's Deli every Wednesday night at 8:00. And that started back in the early Civil Air Patrol days, Bill and Cliff and all those guys. And where the hell is Cliff? We already covered this, I know. But anyway, And so we can't get into Murray's. This is the first time
Ever.
Yeah, ever that Murray's has just shut down. The only time we ever get together anywhere else is on Thanksgiving, because they typically close early for the Thursday. And so we decided to get together here and hash it out and see what's going on. So that was a lot of fun, guys. I appreciate it. And let's we'll look at doing it next time. I'll get this downloaded however long it takes, and I'll put it up on YouTube in the morning.
Cool.
Well, it'll take all day to upload, 3 hours. So
good times, boys.
Abe, very good to see you, sir. Thanks for coming.
Yeah, man. Good to finally hang with you guys a little bit.
Yeah, we'll do it again. We'll fire up next Wednesday and do it again. So
for sure.
Right on. I got a little bit left. So cheers, gents.
Cheers.
Enjoyed it.
Got water.
Did you kill all yours?
Yeah.
All I got
you
left
guys
is
switched
water.
to water? All right. Y'all have a good one. Take care.
All right, you too. Good night.
Later.
Pow.